downfall. Linda was never the good witch. Gossip and spreading rumors will be your downfall. She threw her into the dead ditch. Jealousy makes you lose everything, that's the cost. How about you just stay in the land of the lost? Besties with the witch of the west. Hate on us, but you're still obsessed. Getting me to be the big bad villain, babe, go get a psychoanalysis. Because I know I'm one in a million, but it's fine, I'll be your protagonist. You're talking too much, we can all hear your whispers. Calling us wicked is a little insulting. You gave them to her, but you can keep the rest with first thoughts. Your word goes, girl, but that's just disgusting. You can call me the bad witch, but I'm not the snitch. So tell me which is which? Which is which? Which is which is which? Mirror on the wall, who's the saddest one of all? Glenda was never the good witch. Gossip and spreading rumors will be your downfall. She threw her into the dead ditch. Jealousy makes you lose everything, that's the cost. How about you just stay in the land of the lost? Besties with the witch of the west. Hate on us, but you're still obsessed. Hating me to be the big bad villain, babe, go get a psychoanalysis. Because I know I'm one in a million, but it's fine, I'll be your protagonist.
Scoop. True stories that have made headlines.
(1943). Allied soldiers saved by priest.
Well, my friend, do you agree?
Agree?
Father Flat, you've not heard a word I said.
I'm sorry, Father Borg. I'm afraid I haven't. What was it you were saying?
It's not important. We'll talk about it tomorrow. What's going on in St. Peter's Square that seems to have caught your attention?
The Gestapo.
They are here again? Where?
Come and look. The two men leaning against that large black car.
Ah, yes. Now I see them.
That car is parked on that very spot every day, just behind the white line that divides the Vatican from Rome.
Well, there's nothing unusual in that. The Germans are always hanging around.
I'm not worried about the ordinary German soldiers. It's the Gestapo.
Oh.
Do you know why they're there?
Watching for someone?
For escaped prisoners.
Allied soldiers?
Yes. There have been quite a few lately seeking refuge in the Vatican.
Yes, I've noticed that myself. Well, I suppose we've got to expect it. The Allied armies moving up in Italy.
There are more and more of them each day. Prisoners of war escaped from Italian camps and airmen caught behind the enemy lines.
I suppose those are the fortunes of war. From one prison camp to another.
If that's all that happens to them.
What do you mean?
What happens to them in the Via Forense?
The SS headquarters?
Yes.
We can only pray for them, my friend.
I'd like to do something to help them.
You? What can you do? You are a priest, an official of the Vatican. To help escaping prisoners would...
I think I'll see Sir Darcy Osborne, the British ambassador to the Vatican.
It won't be easy for him to help you.
Well, I don't want him to help physically. I just want his advice. That's the answer. Why are you laughing?
There was a time when you used to say that the British cabinet should be taken out and hanged from lampposts in Whitehall.
That was a long time ago. It was during the 1920 Troubles. I was a student. I've seen a great deal of life since then.
Listen, my friend. Even if Sir Darcy is interested, where will you hide these men? In the Vatican?
No, I couldn't do that.
Where then?
Father Borg, would anyone have thought that your small island of Malta would be able to hold out against the Germans?
What has that to do with this situation?
If a few people can take on a vast air force, then I can take on Colonel Kapler. Just give me time, and I shall find somewhere to hide them. Oh, good evening. Is the ambassador at home?
You have an appointment, Monsignor?
I'm afraid not, but the matter's urgent.
Come in, Monsignor.
Thank you.
Who should I say wishes to see him?
Monsignor Hugo Flaherty. We have met.
If you will wait, sir.
Who is it, John?
There he is now. Monsignor Hugo Flaherty, sir. He asks if he might see you for a moment.
Father of Flaherty. This is a pleasure. Won't you come into the study?
Thank you.
I imagine Monsignor Flaherty would like some tea. Would you order some for us, John?
Very good, sir.
This way, Monsignor. And what brings you out on a bitter night like this?
A project I've set for myself, Sir Darcy, and one that I'd hoped that you might help me with.
Indeed. Take that chair. It's the most comfortable. Now then, how can I help you?
Well, it's about all these escaping Allied troops. The Germans are catching more and more of them as they try to seek sanctuary in the Vatican.
I know. I've been very worried about the matter, but I'm afraid there's nothing anyone can do to help them.
I want to form an escape route.
How?
Well, money talks, Sir Darcy, and I need money and people if I'm to smuggle escapers into the Vatican. I would also need money if I'm to feed and clothe them.
You'd hide them here, in the Vatican?
Well, why not? There are a great number of rooms empty at the moment. But, of course, the operation would have to be kept secret, and I was thinking that if you were to...
Monsignor O'Flaherty, believe me, I know how you feel, but...
You don't like the idea?
Of course I like it. The thought that someone cares enough to help the lads delights me. It's just that...
You won't help me?
I can't help you.
Why not?
You've got to understand my position in the Vatican. I am the only British ambassador still stationed in occupied Europe.
I know that, and that's why you could be so much help to us.
Not really. If anyone were to find out that I'm helping you, Britain could lose its advantage in having me here. Please believe I would help you if I could.
Sir Darcy, you and I know that it won't be long before the Italians are pushed back from Rome.
That's true.
And because of that, the city will be well and truly under the heel of the Germans. Surely you can see what that would mean to these brave young men.
You are determined to help them?
Yes.
Then, as British ambassador to the Vatican, may I say how grateful we will be to you.
But as an Englishman, you would rather hide your head in the sand. Is that what you mean?
Touché from an Irishman. No, that's not what I mean. As ambassador, I can't help you. As Darcy Osborne, I shall be delighted to do so. You're welcome to use whatever personal funds are at my command. Here's John with the tea. Put the tray down here, then take a chair.
Excuse me, sir.
Monsignor O'Flaherty...
Sit down.
Yes, sit down. Monsignor O'Flaherty and I have one or two things to discuss with you.
I've done something wrong, sir.
Not yet. Sit down.
Very good, sir.
Now then, Father, let us discuss one very important point. Milk and sugar.
Please.
As I see it, you're well known amongst the diplomatic corps of the Vatican and Rome. Your tea.
Thank you. Well, I've attended a few cocktail parties.
Help yourself, John.
Thank you, sir.
On the other hand, John May, my butler, moves in slightly different circles. He knows the Rome of the black market. I'd say he's acquainted with every crook in the city.
Sir Darcy.
And that could be useful. I imagine you'll need contacts to provide clothing and food and probably even forged papers.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Now, I'm going to leave the two of you together. Believe me, Father O'Flaherty, John will be infinitely more useful to you than I shall ever be. That is, if he agrees to help you.
What is it that you want me to do, sir?
Be part of Monsignor's escape route for Allied troops.
Will you do it, John?
If Sir Darcy approves, sir.
Wholeheartedly.
Then I shall be glad to help Monsignor.
Good. Enjoy your tea together. And let me know later how much money you'll need to get the project started.
More escapees have come through, Father O'Flaherty. They are French officers. I found them hiding in St. Peter's.
But the point is, what are we going to do with them? Now that Italy's out of the war, the SS has tightened its grip on the city, and John and I are finding it increasingly difficult to get the lads past the German guards into the Vatican. As you know, the authorities have tightened up on who they allow to seek sanctuary, and, well, they had no alternative.
Oh, you are closing the escape route?
Oh, certainly not, but we've got to find another place, but where?
Would you use a private house?
Strangely enough, I have John May searching for one at this moment.
Then I think I might have the answer. You've heard of Madame Chevalier?
She's Maltese?
Yes, a widow who lives in a flat in the Via del Imperio.
You think that she'd be willing to help us?
I'm sure she would.
Is it a large flat?
It has to be. She has 6 daughters.
And she's willing to pack her flat to the ceiling with escaped prisoners?
I spoke to her this morning. In fact, she offered to have them. She's a wealthy woman and can afford to feed them.
Is there anyone in the flat apart from the daughters and the servants, perhaps?
No, not since the Germans moved into Rome. She feels safer without any.
Does she know how dangerous it will be to house the prisoners?
Yes. I told her it probably wouldn't be long before Colonel Kapler realized some sort of escape route was in operation. She didn't seem worried.
And you trust her?
Implicitly. I've known her for a great many years. There is one other advantage.
That is?
The daughters of Madame Chevalier are as eager to help as she is. They have already asked if they might act as couriers, accompanying your soldiers on the next leg of the journey to safety.
I wonder. I don't like the idea of involving women, though.
Well, at least give her a chance to prove her worth. Let her care for our Frenchman, and then, if you are not happy about the situation, we'll look for somewhere else.
Very well. Where are the men now?
In St. Peter's itself.
And you have suggested that they should give themselves up to the Vatican Guard?
Oh, they won't hear of it. They're not prepared to spend the rest of the war in internment. All they'll talk about is getting back to their units so that they can continue the fight.
All right, very well. We'll help them. Keep them where they are until this evening, and I'll get in touch with John May.
Monsignor, I'm here.
I thought you hadn't come.
You knew I wouldn't let you down, sir?
Oh, that's right, of course. Have you given thought to Father Borg's idea?
Yes, sir.
And what do you think of it?
I suppose if he knows Madame well, it will be all right. It's just that the Vatican seems safer, sir.
I've already told you the Vatican's finished as a haven, John. And that's why these lads have been hiding in St. Peter's.
Where are they now, sir?
They're over there at the top of the steps leading to the entrance.
In the open?
Don't worry. It's too dark for the Germans to see them. Not that it would matter if they did. I found them some clothes. Come on, we'll go and fetch them. And the best thing is to walk past the guard as if nothing is the matter.
You know they've increased the guard, sir?
Yes, that's right.
What if they're asked for their papers, sir?
Oh, it's unlikely they will be.
But they're even stopping priests.
Priests? Take a look at our Frenchmen. You can see them clearly now, look.
Can I? I'm not sure that I...
Well, they're the 2 priests, standing to the right of the main door.
Oh, no. If the Germans should find out...
They are not going to find out anything. Now, come on, John. We're going to get our Trappist friends to Madame Chevalier's flat in safety.
Trappists, sir?
A silent order. We'll pray the SS doesn't know the difference between a Trappist and any other order.
Oh,
Should they question us, the men will keep quiet and you can tell the Germans they're under a vow of silence.
This is the street, Father. Are the men following us?
They're coming.
Good. We don't want to lose them when we disappear into that building.
What's the matter?
That man standing at the entrance is a Gestapo spy.
What do we do?
We must brazen it out, sir. I work in the British Embassy in the Vatican. There's no reason why I shouldn't be seen in the company of 3 priests. We'll wait for our soldier friends to catch up with us. It would be better to stick together. Give them the sign to keep quiet.
All right, as you wish. They've seen it. The Gestapo man's looking this way. He's coming toward us.
Put a bold face on it, Father O'Flaherty. They say there are 365 steps to the top.
366. I know he's going to speak to us.
The view is magnificent. The spires of churches stand out against it like... Ignore him, sir.
What if he should, though?
And then there's the inside of the dome. Craftsmanship such as I've never seen before.
Shouldn't we plan what we're going to say?
Too late. He's nearly here. Of course, there's St. Stephen's in Vienna. That's one of my favorites. It's so very... Evening, Signor Marcelli. So very old and mellow. I'd say it has...
He's gone.
I don't want to go through that every day of my life.
Oh, I was sure he was about to stop you.
I'd rather not think about it. Quick, into the entrance, Father. This way, lads. We're almost there.
The Via del Imperio. It's a central address.
It could be a little too central, but we'll see about that. At least the men will have their first peaceful sleep in a long time, even if it is on the floor.
You can't give up now, Father O'Flaherty.
I don't see that I've got any alternative, Madame Chevalier.
For why?
Well, the men are not coming in twos and threes any longer. Every day, more and more of them are pouring into St. Peter's, and we're running short of accommodation and money.
If it is of any use, I can spare a few more lire a month.
You are doing too much as it is.
Oh, no.
You got daughters to care for.
Oh, we are used to pulling in our belts. Huh?
You're a wonderful woman, madam, but to support the number of escapees I estimate may come to us, we need a millionaire's income. You know how these things are.
See.
The prices on the black market are out of all proportion.
Oh, this I know.
Sir Darcy has been generous to the extreme, but even his source of money's running out.
If we were to reduce the number of men we help, at least some of them would get away, no?
But how do we choose?
I know. None of them want to spend the rest of the war interned, huh? Oh, please excuse me. This will be one of my children. I asked for the phone. Hello, this is Madame Chevalier. Who? Ah, Filippo! How nice to hear your voice. Where have you been hiding yourself, huh? Oh, Monsignor O'Flaherty. See, yes, I know him. Oh, I am sure he could. Strangely enough, he's here now. Would you like to speak to him on the phone? Ah, see, I understand. See. Very well, Filippo. I will give him your message. Thank you for calling. Goodbye. Do you believe in miracles, Father O'Flaherty? That was a Prince Filippo Pampili.
The millionaire.
See, head of one of Rome's richest families, and anti-fascist. He wants to see you.
Me? But why?
He wasn't prepared to say over the telephone. He asked whether you would visit him at his villa today. Will you do that?
Do you think he might be prepared to help us?
Well, he seems to know all about you.
But how? So far the route is secret.
Unless someone has talked, huh?
The prince, he's reliable.
Oh, is anyone reliable at this time, Signor O'Flaherty, huh?
I do not know whether this will be enough, Monsignor, but at least it's a start.
450,000 lire. Oh, Your Highness, it's an unbelievable amount, but how did you know?
About the escape route?
I thought it was a well-kept secret.
Oh, it is. Though for how long, I don't know. Your English friend John May came to see me. He knows how I feel about the Gestapo. He told me you were running short of money. That's true, hmm?
Well, yes, I know, but...
But you don't trust me.
I didn't say that. But 450,000 lire is a great deal of money.
Monsignor O'Flaherty, I am only one of Rome's aristocracy who cannot wait for the liberation of our beautiful city. Indeed, I'd do anything in my power to hasten the moment. That is why I want to help you.
Thank you, Your Highness. I accept the gift. I shall use it primarily for accommodation. This is our biggest problem.
Excellent. I have a friend with an apartment close to the Vatican that I'm sure he'd be willing to rent. He has moved to Florence for the duration of the war, and the place is standing empty. Would you like me to make inquiries?
I'd be grateful if you would. I've already inquired about a flat in the Via Firenze where I thought...
You must be mad. It's in the same street as the SS headquarters.
Actually, it's in the same building.
Now, I know you're mad.
Well, it may sound so, but there's method in my madness. I'd say the closer the men are to the Germans, the less likely would be their chances of detection.
I wonder. How many people are in the know, Monsignor?
Quite a number. Most of the underworld friends of John May's.
Which means your chances of detection have increased.
Well, I suppose you could put it that way.
You are a brave man. I presume you have seen Colonel Kappler, head of the SS.
Well, yes, I've seen him once or twice.
Be careful. He's the most hated and dangerous man in Rome. Should he ever find out what you are doing, he'll make sure that you are arrested in spite of the fact that you are a Vatican priest.
What do you suppose they want?
Whatever it is, John, it would be better if we were not seen together.
You think Kepler knows of our association?
Well, I'm sure he does.
Another car has pulled up, sir. That's 3 of them, all Gestapo cars. I don't like it. Won't you come inside St. Peter's?
Presently. I want to see what's going on. I'll stand here by the door and I'll read my Bible.
Monsignor, it's Kepler. He's getting out of the 3rd car.
So it is. While I read, you can tell me what he's doing.
He's talking to the Gestapo men standing on the boundary. He's pointing towards you with his riding crop. Please, Monsignor, it's not safe for you to stand here.
Has he crossed the boundary?
No. No, but I know it's you he's after. He's turning away. He's getting back into the car.
And the Gestapo?
They're moving towards us.
Interesting. Well, in that case, we will go into St. Peter's.
You've got to be careful, Monsignor. I didn't want to tell you, but now I must. I've been informed that Kepler knows about the escape route and is determined to arrest you.
In the Vatican? Oh, that's impossible. Are they still coming toward us?
Yes.
Monsignor Oflarti,
Oh, yes? Who is it?
would you give me a moment of your time?
Not now.
It's a matter of life and death.
Oh, all right, very well.
Monsignor, should you...
If you wish, Signor May can come with us.
You know my name.
Please, let us go into one of the side chapels.
Very well. Come this way. Can you see any sign of our friends, John?
It's the Gestapo, isn't it?
You know that, too.
I should do. I work for them.
You work for the Gestapo?
In the offices of Colonel Kepler.
What you want with me?
I thought this would interest you.
What is it?
The daily orders. I am the clerk responsible for making them out for Colonel Kepler. Read them.
Monsignor Hugh O'Flaherty, the Irish priest, to be arrested and brought to SS headquarters.
What if it's a trap, sir?
Would I lie in the house of the Lord?
No, that I'm sure you wouldn't. Why have you brought this to me?
I want to do something to help my country.
Very well. Now then, you say that you're responsible for writing out the daily orders.
Exactly. You would be interested in receiving a copy each morning?
Naturally I would. But you'd be risking your life.
Men are risking their lives every day at the front. It's the least I can do. You realize Colonel Kepler has already captured a number of your escapees?
I had heard so.
And some of your couriers who've been trying to lead them to safety?
No, but I was afraid of that too.
You know what happens to them when they are taken to the Gestapo headquarters in Via Tasso?
Yes.
It's also because I have seen what's happened to them that I've decided to do what I can to help.
Thank you, Giuseppe. I shall be grateful to have a hotline to SS headquarters. I can hardly control them any longer, Madame Chevalier.
I know what you are going through, Monsignor. To look after over 3,000 men must be a great problem.
We've issued orders that no one must eat out at the restaurants frequented by the German officers, but they seem to look on the whole thing as a joke, as a way to pass the time.
And they become restless, cooped up in small rooms all over Rome.
That is hardly the point, Filippo. What if one of them should awaken under torture, eh? Do you realize what that would mean to Monsignor Flefati?
Don't worry about me, madam. I know how to take care of myself.
Now, you may think you know, Monsignor, but do you realize how many SS troops have been brought to Rome for the express purpose of ferreting out your escapees?
Yeah, well, from the look of it, every SS trooper in Germany...
Over 2,000, and each of them a crack marksman. That's why so many men have been shot in the streets lately.
I know, but what do we do?
You say the lads have had orders to stay indoors?
Well, they've also been warned about what might happen if their hosts or hostesses are arrested.
And it makes no difference?
None at all, Filippo, none at all. I know that some of the men I harbor wander about the streets of Rome in the evenings. I've tried to argue with them, but they have become impatient. Help us to get back to our units so that we can finish the war, is all they say. I try to explain that the Allies have reached as far north as Monte Cassino, but that is not enough, no.
Perhaps if we were...
Philip! What is that?
Rifle shots. Now look out of the window.
Be careful you're not seen.
No, it's all right. I'll look from behind the curtain.
Filippo, what is it?
The Gestapo. Let me look.
Oh, Father, please, no.
No, I must see.
No. 4 of them.
Escapees?
From the look of them, yes.
In this house?
I don't know. I'll go down and see.
No, Monsignor. That would be madness. If you're seen coming out of this apartment, the Gestapo know that this is one of your havens for ex-prisoners.
Oh, one of them is Paul. I recognize him. He's an American boy. I thought that he was in his room. Oh, stupid child. What made him go out in a broad daylight? Why should he want to? Oh, Father, when are the Allies coming to Rome? When?
Father O'Flaherty.
I can't believe it.
They are here.
Yes, my son, they're here. After all this time, the Allies have entered Rome. And I shall have to say goodbye to my lads. I don't quite know how I'm going to face it. I've been a fool. Man of my age in tears.
It's a moving sight, Father.
It's a wonderful sight.
I think they'll give you a decoration for all that you've done, Father.
I don't want no decorations, John. All I want is to be able to live in peace again.
Sir Darcy sent me to find you, sir. He'd like you to join him for tea.
How like the English. Rome has fallen to the Allies, and all they can think of is their cup of tea. Nevertheless, it's a good idea. Lead the way, John.
You'll have to face quite a cross-examination.
What do you mean?
There are 2 war correspondents here, both anxious to know all they can about the Pimpernel priests.
Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop. Scoop. True stories that have made headlines.
April 1820. Cato Street conspiracy exposed. Arthur Thistlewood condemned to death for high treason.
Ah, good, Edwards. You've come. Sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Warwick.
Well, have you considered my proposition?
Yes, sir, I have.
Well?
From what I can make out, sir, this Arthur Thistlewood is a dangerous fanatic.
Precisely. A dangerous fanatic. He's conceived a plan to turn Britain into a republic. He has a handful of followers, but no resources, and in normal times we'd dismiss him and allow him to go ahead with his plans, which promise nothing more than disaster and his death. But these are not normal times, Mr. Edwards.
Ah, you mean the Sparfield riots, sir?
Precisely. The people are unsettled at the moment. A man like Thistlewood could well prove a danger.
In that case, sir, why didn't you arrest him?
Ah, certainly not, Edwards. The government have decided to let them mature their plans, and then anticipate them in the act, thus being able to arraign them on a charge of high treason and carrying the death penalty, rather than to halt the plot.
I see.
And that is why we want you to join Thistlewood, become one of his followers, and then keep us closely informed of his plans.
Yes, but if he found out, it could mean my death.
You'll be handsomely rewarded, Edwards. Well, I believe Thistlewood plans to strike soon. If you make it known that you sympathize with him, he'll accept you. It's up to you to keep a step ahead of him, Edwards. And as I said, we'll reward you handsomely.
Very well, then.
Splendid! Now, find out all you can and keep in touch with us. And the best of luck, Edwards.
Cabby!
Evening to you, sir. Whoa, steady on.
I'm a stranger to London, cabby. I want to get to this address on this paper here. Do you know it?
Yes. I know it. Hop in, Governor. Look under the floor mat. Instructions there.
Thank you, cabby.
Get up. Get up there. Come on now, get up.
Under the floor mats. Yes, it is. Now, let's see. Fox's Court, Gray's Inn Lane, tomorrow night, 10 sharp. Whistle twice and give password.
Who is it?
Plummy and Slam.
All right. He's waiting.
It's truth, it's dark. Can't you show a glimmer?
Instructions. No light. Most particular.
Yeah, where's the room?
Down the passage. Left. Fourth door. No need to knock. He's expecting you.
Right. Fourth door left. This must be it.
Good evening, Mr. Edwards.
Good evening.
Come in and shut the door. Take this chair here by the fire. It's a bitter night, isn't it?
Yes, it is. London at its worst.
In more ways than one, eh, Mr. Edwards? London, a city of infinite promise in the cold grip of winter. And in the grip of something more serious.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Let us be honest with each other, Mr. Edwards. No breath of what is spoken here leaves these four walls.
Well, what do you want me to say?
You are a cautious man, Mr. Edwards, just as well. Suits my purpose all the better. I cannot have men who are indiscreet. They're not easy to find, believe me, men of your type.
I find that puzzling. How do you know what type of man I am?
I have ways of finding out.
Oh, I see.
In this dossier here are details of your life.
What?
Your interests, your occupation, your hobbies. Everything about you is in here, Mr. Edwards. Everything. It's taken me 18 months to compile this. To glance through it is like reading into your very soul.
I see. And the source of your information?
You must permit me my secrets, Mr. Edwards. You must permit me my secrets.
But why have you gone to all that trouble?
I'm looking for men of your type. Men to assist me with a project I have in mind. Men who are discreet, as you have proved yourself to be. Men who are intelligent, ruthless, who will stop at nothing if the stakes are high.
Oh, now look here, Mr. Worcester.
It's all here, Mr. Edwards, in this dossier. You have no secrets? None?
Oh. Well, go on. What do you want with me?
Your help?
My help?
Yes. For which I'm prepared to pay. Handsomely.
What help do you want?
Before I answer that question, Mr. Edwards, may I ask you one? Do you know who I am?
Yes.
Well?
Arthur Thistlewood.
Good. How do you know?
Well, I've heard you speaking. I've attended your meetings. I was at Spa Fields during the riots, and outside Newgate Prison when they released you.
Indeed. Very interesting. I take it, then, that you share my political convictions.
Well, doesn't it say so in that dossier of yours? Would you have asked me here this evening if I didn't?
I think I'm going to like you, Mr. Edwards.
Well, shall we get down to business, sir? You said you wanted my help. You said you were prepared to pay for it. Handsomely was the way you expressed it. Well, what do you want me to do?
I want you to kill the Prime Minister.
What?
And Lord Sidmouth, the Duke of Wellington, and the rest of the cabinet.
But, I mean, kill them.
Kill every one of them. And when we've done it, seize the principal bank and barracks. Set up a government of the people, of which I will be the leader.
You are serious, sir?
Do I look as if I jest?
But it's a fantastic plan.
It worked in France. The people rose, and look what happened. They couldn't be stopped.
Yes, but France isn't England.
There is little difference, Edwards. Workless crowds have already demonstrated against the government, and the death of the king is fanning the flame. They need someone to lead them. I am that person.
And your first move is the destruction of the cabinet?
Yes. Now is the time to strike. Now. Now! But I need men. Men I can trust. Well, Mr. Edwards?
Well, I mean...
Think of the prize. A position of trust in the new cabinet I'll form. You'll do it.
Yes. Yes, I'll come in with you.
Good. Excellent. Bring your chair closer, Mr. Edwards. That's it. Come on, closer. Now, before we strike the final blow, I must know the movements of the members of the cabinet. I've got to know where they're going to be, at what times, their plans, everything.
Yes, well, that won't be easy. They guard themselves.
Of course it won't be easy, but such matters can be managed with subtlety and intelligence. For instance, Mr. Edwards, Harrowby, the president of the council, is under observation already. What? You're surprised, eh?
Well, but how? I mean...
One of my men, Charles Brunt, is working in his very house.
Oh, I
He has been here for the past 6 months. Every movement that Harrowby makes is reported to me. Here. His dossier. See how thick it is?
Oh, I congratulate you, Mr. Thistlewood.
Yes, indeed. Brunt is one of my best men, and he has been a veritable mine of information.
Help us, Mr. Brunt. The things folks do these days.
What's up, Mrs. Pollitt?
Crowds demonstrating in Edgware Road. Can you believe that? Demonstrating they were, shouting and shaking their fists.
Demonstrating? But what about, Mrs. Pollitt?
Lord love you, Mr. Brunt. They were just demonstrating. A fashion from France, you might call it.
It's about the accession of the new king. I'm told he's very unpopular.
Ah, well, I can't say I hold with his carryings on, but he behaves no worse than other men.
Speaking personally, Mrs. Pollitt, I think there's going to be trouble. Serious trouble.
Trouble?
Revolution.
Revolution?
No, steady on. I'm only speaking personally.
You mean the people would...
You said you saw him demonstrating in Edgware Road, didn't you?
Well, yes.
And you did call it a fashion from France, didn't you?
I suppose so.
Well, then.
Do you mean to tell me, Mr. Brunt, that respectable English people would... Revolution?
Why not, Mrs. Pollitt? Not that I hold with such things, of course, but they have their reasons. Poverty.
Oh, but... Do you think they really would?
Suffering folk can be driven to anything, Mrs. Pollitt.
Well, now...
But you mustn't worry yourself about this, Mrs. Pollitt. No harm would come to you.
But what of the master? He's president of the council and a man high up in political circles. What of him? If there were a revolution, what
The main thing is, Mrs. Pollitt, the innocent likes of us wouldn't be harmed.
You know, Mr. Brunt, I'm beginning to see things clearer now.
See things clearer? What do you mean?
Well, it's confidential, and I don't suppose that I should...
Oh, come now, Mrs. Pollitt, you can tell me. After all, I work here.
Well, yes, Mr. Brunt, of course you do. This morning I was up in the master's study, and I heard him making special arrangements for an evening conference of the cabinet.
This evening?
Yes. Now, I ask you, why would he do that if they weren't expecting trouble of some kind, eh?
This conference, did you hear when it was to be held?
Well, I wasn't especially interested, Mr. Brunt. But now, what date did he mention? Yes, I remember, the 23rd.
February the 23rd? Are you certain?
Well, it doesn't matter if I'm wrong, but no, it was the 23rd.
And where was this conference to be held?
Here, in this house.
Here?
But why are you so interested?
Oh, well, it's going to be a big occasion, Mrs. Pollitt. A big occasion. A conference here? The Prime Minister will be coming.
And it'll mean a lot of work for us, Mr. Brunt. Now, don't you go mentioning what I've said, not to a living soul. I wouldn't want any trouble here on my account.
Of course, Mrs. Pollitt, of course. I wouldn't mention this to a soul.
Who is it?
Come in, Slam. Come on. Come on, open up.
Where is he? Oh, wait a minute, Brunt, wait a minute. Steady on, what do you want?
Oh, to see him. Where is he?
I don't know, he's not here.
Look, if you know where he is, tell me. You must. It's important.
If he wanted you to know where he was, he'd have told you. So go on, clear out.
Oh, no, you don't.
Let go of me.
Where is he?
No, I'm...
Come on, where is he?
You'll kill me if I tell you.
Where is he?
Hartford, Georgian. Let go of me.
Georgian Hartford.
You mustn't go, you mustn't.
I am going, just as fast as my horse can lay hoofs to the ground. Ho there! Landlord, ho there! Open up!
What is it? What is it?
I have news for one of your guests. Open up!
Oh, there's never any peace. Wait there.
Hurry! Oh, come on. on.
Well, what is it? Who do you want to see?
Mr. Thistlewood. He's here?
Well, yes, but
All right, Turner. I'll see the gentleman.
Oh, I didn't see you there, sir.
You may leave us. We'll be quite all right.
Very well, sir. Good night.
Well, Brunt, what is it? Why are you here?
Safe to talk here?
Yes?
The ministers are to meet for dinner at Harrow's on the 23rd.
All of them?
Yes, special conference.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Oh, this is heaven sent. We strike once and wipe them out. Eliminate the whole cabinet. This is more than I ever dreamed of. But we must lay our plans carefully. Nothing must go wrong.
To see me, Mr. Thistlewood?
Ah, yes, Edwards. Sit down. I have splendid news.
Oh, news, sir?
You must join me in a glass of sherry, Edwards.
Oh.
There you are. A toast to our success.
To our success.
With one blow, we are going to eliminate the entire British cabinet, Edwards. With one blow, like that. It is a heaven-sent opportunity. Oh, this is more than I ever dreamed would happen. One blow, Edwards. Do you believe in fate? Well, do you?
Well,
Fate is working on our side. When I made my plans, I never in my wildest moments of optimism foresaw this happening. The birds will be in one nest. They will come together for our benefit. For our benefit, Edwards.
I don't understand, sir.
Remember I told you that Brunt was working at Harrowby's?
Yes.
Well, on the 23rd, there'll be a special conference of the cabinet at Harrowby's residence.
What?
The entire cabinet will be there. I tell you, Edwards, this is a heaven-sent opportunity. Of course, it must be planned with great care. And I have thought up the perfect plan, Edwards. The perfect plan. Perkins will deliver a dispatch case to the front door. When the butler opens the door, Ings, Brunt, Tidd, and Davidson will attack him. They will cut down the servants before they can give the alarm. You, Edwards, you will be privileged.
Privileged, sir?
You will accompany me to the dining room. And it will be our pleasure to kill the ministers.
I see.
Surprise will be on our side. And they will be lulled into a false sense of security by fine wine and rich food. It should be easy. I prefer swords to pistols.
We must make sure and take both, sir.
Of course, Edwards, of course. We must make sure. I have given instructions that the men meet here, and then proceed to their various tasks. You can see that I have a veritable armory over there, Edwards.
Oh, yes, blunderbusses, knives, swords, pistols.
And enough ammunition to slay the entire British army. I believe in doing a job well, Edwards.
Yes, I can see that, Mr. Thistlewood.
Just think. On the 24th it will all be over. The cabinet slain, the king our prisoner, and me... And you, Edwards, you as well, in charge. Revolution. And the country ours.
I hope that nothing goes wrong, sir.
What can go wrong? Nothing. We are the only people who know of this plan. So don't worry yourself on that score, Edwards. Nothing can go wrong.
Mr. Edwards has arrived, sir.
Splendid. Send him through.
Very well, sir. Will you come this way, sir?
Oh, thank you. Well, Edwards, it's good to see you. Sit down. Cigar?
Thank you.
There you
are. Well, Mr. Warwick, what's the news,
That's my question, Edwards. What's your news?
Well, you know mine. Thistlewood strikes tonight. You have told them.
Of course, officially. At first they wouldn't believe me. That kind of thing didn't happen in this country. Then when they finally accepted it as fact, my old friend Wellington wanted to shoot it out with a brace of fists.
These men aren't to be trifled with, Mr. Warwick. This whole business has been superbly organized. They have spies everywhere. Thistlewood may be a fanatic, but he's as cunning as the devil, don't forget that.
He may be clever, Edwards, but not clever enough to suspect you, eh? You've done an amazing job, working among the stoats, and not one of them suspicious.
Well, let's start crowing when it's all over, sir.
Oh, come, Edwards. What can go wrong? We've everything completely under control.
Yes, but...
cabinet are meeting at Lord Liverpool's house in Westminster.
But if Harrowby's house is deserted, sir, they'll suspect. Spies have it under observation the whole time, and believe me, if this... suspects a traitor amongst his men, all of us will die. That's the kind of man he is.
But, my dear fellow, Harrowby's home will be a hive of activity. Carriages will be arriving, but there will be no cabinet ministers. They will be my men, all with a job to do.
Oh, good.
Tell me, are you still meeting at that hayloft in Cato Street?
Yes, everything remains as I reported. We attack at 8, and the men will be heavily armed.
And so shall we.
Good. Well, I'd better be getting back then. He may wonder where I am. Goodbye, Mr. Warwick.
Goodbye, Edwards, and the best of luck.
We have some moments in hand, gentlemen. So let us go through everything from the beginning. Smith?
Sir.
What are your duties?
Well,
Come, man, come quickly now.
I must keep Harrowby's under observation. Anything unusual, I report to Barnes.
Good. Perkin? Sir? You deliver the dispatch case to the front door. When the butler opens it, Ings, Brunt, Tint and Davidson will take over. You gentlemen have been given your instructions. Cut down the servants before they can raise the alarm. This must be done silently with knives and swords. Edwards and the others will proceed to the dining room, where the gentlemen concerned will be enjoying a hearty repast.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any questions?
If we're surprised, sir, we must shoot it out.
You won't be surprised. But should it happen, you must shoot to kill. One final word, gentlemen. When we have successfully accomplished our mission at Grosvenor Square, we will form ourselves into an orderly group. An orderly group, gentlemen. and march on to Mansion House. In this way we will gather supporters as we go.
What about the Bow Street runners?
Once the people know what we have done, the runners will be unable to handle them. Oh, one more thing. Ing?
Yes, sir?
You have remembered the bag?
It is here, sir.
Good. Once Castlereagh, Sidmouth, and Wellington have been killed, their heads will be placed in the bag and displayed at Mansion House.
Oh, splendid idea.
This will convince the people, if nothing else will. Yes. Well, gentlemen, the time has come for us to move.
Yes.
Take your weapons, and you all know what your tasks are.
Stand where you are!
Get down! The window! Break the window!
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, I do.
Hold him, then, hold him!
Stand aside!
If you haven't a help, Thistlewood, the place is surrounded.
You traitor! By hell, so fast, Thistlewood! Die so easily, Edwards. Take that! Hold him! Quickly!
The window, sir! Quick, the window! Stop him! Kick him in that door, after him! There he goes, go on this way!
Any sign of him?
Round down here. Any luck, Bert?
No, sir. Heaven command can't stop here. Edwards, you go down this way and...
I saw where he went to, mister. I saw.
Where?
What's it worth? Valuable information should be worth.
£100. Where did he go? Come on, which way?
Through that door yonder and upstairs.
Yes.
You'll find him, mister, but don't forget the money.
No.
Don't forget Pike's the name. Mrs. Emily Pike.
Through the door and up the stairs. Right, we'll surround the whole area.
Don't forget the money.
No.
Valuable information.
You come with me.
Right,
Edwards. The
sir.
rest of you go round there and here.
Right, sir.
Come on, Edwards. Yes. Door's open. The stairs. Shh. Quiet now. Leads to an attic. There he is! Stop! Stop! You can't get away! Stop or I'll fire!
Don't be a fool, Thistlewood. The entire building's surrounded.
Curse you, Edwards! All my plans destroyed because of you!
Come forward and don't try any tricks. That's better. I'll throw down your arms. Throw them down.
There. And may the devil take you and yours, George Edwards. If I hadn't placed my trust in you, I would have succeeded.
Quiet.
Bah! I had everything here in my hands. And this happens thanks to traitors and blabbing fools.
Down the stairs, Thistlewood. Quickly now. My men are waiting.
Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop. Scoop. True stories that have made headlines.
Because Goldwater Omo cleans best, it makes the day easier for a lot of women. Mrs. Sher of Sea Point told us how Omo helped her daughter during the holidays.
I saw there was no hot water in the bungalow. And I said, Diane, what are you doing about Kim's things? She said, I soak it every night in cold water Omo. And I saw it the next morning. She just hung it on the line. His towels, his blankets, his suits, socks, the lot.
They were clean?
Yes, they were clean, even the dirty nappies. Beautifully clean.
Omo cleans best.
Do you earn over 200 Rand a month? Then if you don't have a Barclays National check account, you're probably wasting money. Running a checkbook costs a lot less than your time is worth from now on. Ask your nearest Barclays bank manager. Barclays National Bank. People call us the professionals. People like you.
we present Assault on Rommel, the story of the commando raid on Baie de Latoria in 1941. Sergeant Terry?
Yes, sir. Why, it's Colonel Laycock. Oh, fancy seeing you, sir. Oh, it's been a long time.
Yes, nearly a year. You're still with the commandos?
I wouldn't be with anyone else, sir.
No, I didn't think you would. Well, I mustn't keep you. You're catching a train.
Oh, no, not for a while, sir. Always get to a station early. I'm going back to dear old Scotland, to Achnacarry. I'm instructing for a while. And you, sir? They say you're in charge of the Special Service Brigade.
I am, and enjoying it.
Oh, I'm glad. I see they gave Colonel Keyes the VC.
Yes. Britain gave him the VC, and the Germans gave him a military funeral.
Yes, he deserved it, sir.
He did indeed. He was a worthy son of his father, Admiral Sir Roger Keyes.
And Captain Campbell, I suppose he was captured.
Yes. Unfortunately, he's a POW.
Oh, that's bad luck. I hope the Germans put his leg right.
I'm afraid they had to amputate. However, he's a courageous soldier. He makes light of it.
Just think. Next month it'll be November. Then it will be a year since we went to Baie de Latoria.
Doesn't seem like it, does it, Sergeant?
No, sir.
I remember how it all began. Well, gentlemen, these are our orders. To capture, or if necessary, kill the Desert Fox.
Oh. We're going after Rommel himself, sir?
Exactly, Captain Campbell. We're going after Rommel. Well, please smoke if you want to, gentlemen. We've got a lot to discuss.
Thanks, sir.
Our information, which was sent to 8th Army HQ, comes from intelligence. They say they're pretty sure that Rommel's HQ is a house at Baie de Latoria, about 25 miles from the coast, between Tobruk and Benghazi. You realize what it'll mean if the operation is a success.
It could change the whole course of the war, sir.
Yes, Colonel Keyes. In Rommel, the Germans have a first-class commander, who must, if possible, be got rid of.
Has it been decided who will command the operation, sir?
No, only that I shall be in overall command.
Then I'd like permission to lead the actual assault on HQ, sir.
Thank you, Keyes.
How many of us are to go, sir?
6 officers and 53 other ranks. However, there's one thing you must know, and that's why I've called you all together today. This raid will be no picnic. Indeed, it could be dangerous enough to mean death for the assault party. And not only that, even if the raid's a success, the chances of the force being evacuated after the operation are very slender indeed. Now, under the circumstances, I wouldn't hold it against any of you if you felt you wanted to pull out now.
I'm sure that we all are aware of the danger, sir. I, for one, wouldn't dream of pulling out. Oh, no, sir. Of course not.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
When does the assault take place, Colonel Laycock?
At midnight on November the 17th. The operation's been planned to coincide with the opening of General Auchinleck's offensive to relieve Tobruk, and will involve our landing quite a considerable distance behind the enemy lines. The force is to sail from Alexandria in the submarines Torbay and Talisman a week beforehand, and will be landed at Hammer on the night of November the 13th. Have you any questions so far?
Will there be any contact with people ashore, sir?
Yes. Captain Hazelden of the Intelligence Corps will have been dropped in the district by the Desert Reconnaissance Corps. Now, he's an intrepid officer who is thoroughly at home in Arab costume. As our one-man reception committee, it'll be up to him to signal us ashore when the coast is clear. Now, once we're on land, the forces will be divided into 3 groups. I shall take command of the main force, which will form a bridgehead, while Colonel Keyes leads the attack on Rommel's headquarters. The 3rd detachment under, under you, Lieutenant Cook, will cut telephone and telegraph wires to the German HQ. The exact spot for this operation will be at the crossroads south of Cyrene. Now then, if you look at this map, I'll show you how the operation's going to work. Now, this is where we land, and then from here, we'll move inland this way.
Hold on, Sergeant Terry.
Oh, that was the near one, sir.
Yeah.
Nearly swamped us. Oh, why do we have to pick a night like this?
Well, keep paddling or we'll never get ashore.
Do you think we've lost many men, sir?
Yes, I'm afraid so. We can ill afford to lose any. I saw 4 boats being swept away when we were launched from the Torbay.
It's not easy keeping this dinghy going in the right direction, is it?
Keep your eyes on Captain Heselden's torchlight.
Yes, sir.
I wonder how Captain Laycock's party is getting on aboard the Talisman.
Well, it couldn't be worse than this. Over there, sir. Isn't that Captain Campbell's dinghy? I saw him for a moment as we topped the swell. There, you can see him now.
Yes, you're right. He's coming with us to the house. Who's with him?
Lieutenant Cook, sir.
Well, the weather's worsening. We'd better get a move on.
We're approaching shore, sir.
This is where we keep our fingers crossed.
Keys! Is that you?
Over here, sir.
Well, at least Colonel Laycock's ashore. Oh, I'm relieved to see you all. I began to wonder whether we'd ever get here. Where's Hazelden?
I've gone down to the beach to see if any more men are coming ashore, sir.
Have we lost a lot?
Yes. How many managed to land from the Talisman?
You see us before you, Keys.
Ah.
7 of us.
Well, that means only half the original force has made it.
We continue with the operation, sir? Yes, Captain Campbell. We continue. Right. Now, I'm going to cut down the bridgehead force. I intend staying here in the waddy with a sergeant and 2 men. And the rest we'll divide between Keys and Cook. Yes, sir. And if the weather improves, it's possible some more men may get ashore from the Talisman tomorrow.
Well, the weather's improving now, sir. At least the sun's shining, which will dry our clothes.
There's a plane coming from the west. Now, keep down. Can you see it?
It's over there, sir. It's one of theirs.
Aye.
A reconnaissance plane.
Now, whatever you do, don't move. And start praying they don't see us.
Don't stop. Keep going.
It's gone. It didn't see us.
It couldn't have been looking very hard.
You're talking about a time of departure, sir.
Yes. Well, I think you'd better leave at 2000 hours. You'll go that way. I'm afraid it'll be 25 miles of hard going. Intelligence says you'll be following rock-strewn sheep tracks most of the way.
Hey. I think we'd better rest here for a while, Campbell.
Hey, hard going was the understatement of the year. And the rain doesn't help things.
Hey, look, sir, over there.
What?
Arabs.
So they are. Friendly or not, that's the question.
Well, I imagine we'll soon find out, sir.
They know we're not Germans.
And they're armed. Italian carbines, from what I can see.
Well, then they could be the enemy. If only they wouldn't just stand there.
Yes.
Who are you?
Oh, go on. Say something.
They don't understand.
Who are you?
My name's Abdel. Who are you?
Their leader speaks English. That's lucky. We're British.
I can tell that.
Now, won't you join us for a cigarette?
Oh, that's made him move, sir.
He's a strange-looking man. Doesn't look like an Arab.
Yeah, well, at least he's not a German.
You have cigarettes?
Yes, in return for some help. You could have quite a few.
Help? What sort of help?
Well, first of all, show us somewhere to shelter.
There are some caves over there. Come with us and we'll show them to you.
Can you trust him, sir?
I won't tell the Germans I've seen you, if that's what you mean.
We'll follow you. Lead on. You speak English well.
I was educated in Paris. I studied languages at the Sorbonne. You got any food with you?
Oh, some iron rations, but we've not eaten for 36 hours.
Well, there's some goat's meat in the cave.
Oh, meat. Oh, I don't believe it.
Why do you live in the desert, Abdul? Surely, with your education...
That's my affair, Colonel.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pry.
And since we're asking questions, where are you going?
Well, to the Via Balbia.
You've a long way to go, and when you get there...
Well, I think you'll agree that that's our affair.
What a smell. Oh, it's enough to knock you out.
It's the goats. This is a shelter for goat herds, particularly when the weather is bad.
There's something good in that pot.
Goat's meat. Help yourselves.
Thank you very much.
How long do you want to stay here?
For the night, if we may. How long will it take us to get to the road?
You're going to the house at Bella Littoria?
Why do you ask?
I'll show you the way. We leave first thing in the morning. We can spend tomorrow night in a small wood I know of, near the escarpment beneath the house.
Why are you doing this?
It's an attractive wood. full of wild cyclamen. If I were you, I'd leave most of your party there while you go on a reconnaissance. It's as well to know your way around. There's a young Arab who knows the house well. We'll meet him tomorrow and he can give you details of the layout.
Well, that will help. If I can draw a map, it'll make things easier for the briefing. Here we are, at the foot of the escarpment. This is the last lap.
How high is it?
Approximately 250 feet. Shouldn't be too difficult to climb. What time do you make it, Campbell?
22:30 hours.
And time for a breather. I want to be outside the house at 23:30.
Has Lieutenant Cook gone?
Yes, he went when we reached the escarpment. He'll meet us back at the bridgehead. I wonder how things are going with Colonel Laycock.
I wonder.
Couldn't think of anything worse than waiting for something to happen. Well, we'd better be going. We'll follow that path. It'll bring us to within a stone's throw of the house. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Peugeot 404. Manual, automatic, wagon, LDV. The answer to all your motoring problems. Value for money, incredibly reliable. Little maintenance, and the running costs are low. More than a sugar-coated pill. The 404 from Peugeot.
Make love to the sun with Revlon's new Bronze Luster collection, designed especially for sun lovers. Prevent your skin from drying while you tan beautifully with Bronze Luster lotions, creams, and gelées. Free Silhouette suntan stickers with every purchase of Bronze Luster by Revlon.
The escarpment's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Mind that boulder. It could slide if we're not careful.
I hope Abdel hasn't gone to the back door to let them know we're here.
Somehow I don't think he has. Strange chap. Yeah, we're about up.
Maybe that.
Just a few more steps and we'll reach the top. There's the house.
Yeah. It's dull, isn't it?
Probably looks better by daylight. Come on. We must get to the...
A dog, sir.
Get down. Could be at the house. Keep in the shadows, everyone.
I suppose it's heard us.
I don't know, but we're not going to risk it. Wait until it stops and then...
The door's open. There's a light.
Keep down, all of you.
Mitzi! Was ist los? Come, Mitzi. What's he saying, sir?
Wants to know what the dog's barking at.
I wonder what he'd say if he knew it was us. Come here, Mitzi. Bravo, Hund.
I hope Mitzi does as she's told.
The light's gone, the door's closed. He must have gone inside.
Well, do we go on, sir?
I might as well. I don't think he was particularly worried, so obviously he doesn't know we're here. One moment before we go, everyone. You remember the map I drew?
Yes, sir.
The outhouses are over there. Make for them as fast as you can, and we'll use them as a base for the assault.
Right. How far away are they from the house?
I'd say about 100 yards. Abdul says they're used as garages, so they'll give us some cover.
Right, sir.
Come on, let's get going.
It's a pity it's so light. We've not got much cover.
Don't worry about that. Just run.
Come on, men. Put your best foot forward.
Come on. Not much further.
Seems like miles.
Keep late nights, these Germans, don't they? Here, there's a light in that upstairs room.
We'll probably make for that in the end.
Let's hope that's the General's bedrooms.
Imagine it. Rommel himself. I can't believe it.
Down, everyone!
What's the matter with that animal? Anyone would think it was seeing soldiers.
The hut. The door, look.
Quiet, everyone! Quiet.
Yeah. Hey. Die Deutsche Patrouille?
No German work, Campbell. He's going inside.
What was all that about? He sounded like an Italian.
Yeah, he was. I told him we were a German patrol.
Come on, we've only a few more yards. Into that doorway.
I mean, it's like running a marathon. Might as well be back at the salt course at Achnacarry.
Oh, here we are. Right, men, get inside.
I thought we'd never get here.
Oh, it's nice to rest the legs, isn't it, sir? What do we do now?
We'd make it 5 minutes to 0 hour. As they've obviously been disturbed, we'd better attack at once.
Right.
Are you with me?
Aye, sir.
Good men. Right. Now, Captain Campbell, Sergeant Terry and I are going to get into the house by way of the side door on the other side of the building.
Right.
I want the rest of you to move round to the front and stay there. Now, under no circumstances are you to move again until one of us gives you the signal. Is that understood?
Aye, yes, sir. That's right.
Good. And good luck to all of you. Right. There's the door. We'll pray it's unlocked. We must make as little noise as possible. Right. I'll try the door. Now. That's it.
Look out, sir! A German!
Oh, no, you don't! He's dead. I wonder where the rest are.
It's very quiet. They must have heard us.
Whether they have or not, at any sign of trouble, we'll use Tommy guns and grenades.
Right, sir.
Come on, let's get up the stairs.
There's another German at the top. Look out, I'll get him.
Damn it, he's run back.
Probably to warn the others.
After him.
Which way?
We'll try this door. Stand by. No one there.
The next one, there's a light under it.
Right, there we go. I'll open it. Fire and close it immediately. Right. There are at least 10 of them in there.
Rommel?
Don't know.
Hold the door closed. I'll pull the pin from this grenade and...
Right.
That's it. It's out. Open up. I've thrown it inside.
Well done.
Jeffrey.
I think I...
Sergeant, close the door.
We've got them, sir. They're finished.
Aye. It's quiet. Jeffrey, are you all right? Where have they hit him, Sergeant?
In the chest, sir.
Is he alive?
Yes.
Help me carry him outside.
Right.
I'll take this side and you take the other.
Right.
And if anyone tries to stop us, use this revolver.
Doesn't seem as if there's anyone else to worry about now, sir.
Stop here, Sergeant.
Right, sir.
We'll put him on the grass, and then you can go and fetch the others. There. That's it.
I can't think what happened to our chaps, sir.
Well, Colonel Keyes told them to wait, remember?
Yeah, but they must have heard all the firing.
Could be having trouble from that Italian chap we saw. Anyway, I'll wait with the Colonel while you go,
It's
and then...
not necessary, sir.
What do you mean?
He's dead, sir.
Dead?
He must have died as we carried him out of the house.
I suppose you're right. Strange, I thought he'd make it. Well, there's nothing we can do for him. Oh, we'd better leave him here and hope the Germans give him a decent burial. Well, let's get moving.
Coming, sir.
Now, as soon as we meet up with the others, we'll get down the escarpment and keep marching until we reach the wadi. Everyone's tired, but we should make it with an occasional brief rest.
If Rommel was in that room, they're going to sound the alarm pretty soon, sir.
Exactly. That's why I want to get out of here.
Over there, sir. Huh? Look, there's an outhouse.
Sergeant, they've hit me.
I can't move.
Who's there?
Sergeant Terry and the assault forces, sir.
Oh, Terry. Welcome back. Oh, it's good to see you. Well, how did things go?
We completed the operation, sir. We believe everyone in the house is dead.
Splendid. Was Rommel there?
We're not sure, sir. We didn't see him.
Where's Colonel Keyes and Captain Campbell?
Colonel Keyes is dead, sir. He was shot during the operation.
I'm sorry. He was one of our finest officers.
Yes, sir.
And Captain Campbell?
He was shot in the leg. We had to leave him behind, sir.
You left him behind? Why?
It was his decision. We wanted to carry him with us, but he wouldn't hear of it. He said we'd never get him down the escarpment, let alone carry him 25 miles without the Germans finding us. Oh, we argued with him, sir. We'd have taken that chance, but he ordered us to get back to the Wadi as soon as possible. He said he didn't consider losing 9 commandos was worth it.
He's a brave man.
He is indeed, sir. He was comfortable when we left him. I'm pretty sure he'll be in hospital by now.
Well, we'd better get down to the beach. The Torbay should be here shortly to pick us up.
Where's Lieutenant Cook, sir?
I don't know. He should have been here yesterday.
Yes.
But there's been no sign of him or of his men. It's possible he might have misunderstood me and is waiting on the beach. I think we'll give your men an hour's rest and then go down and see. We've got to get out of here, and fast. If the Torbay fails us, well, I'll divide the force up into small parties so that it'll be easier for them to get away.
I see, sir.
They can hide in the hills and try to get back to our lines, or even wait until our forces get here. Whatever they do, it'll be every man for himself. And that wasn't the end of the story, was it, Sergeant?
Oh, no, sir. Oh, I'll never forget the weeks you and I spent wandering about the desert.
I doubt if we'd be here today if it weren't for the tribesmen who befriended us. 41 days before we got back to the British lines at Cyrene.
Yes, the only 2 to have done so.
You know, Sergeant, considering all the problems that faced us, it was a courageous operation. What a pity Rommel wasn't at Beda Latoria that night.
Yeah, what's more, he never had used the house as a headquarters.
Middle-aged? Feel you're aging too quickly? Are odd aches and pains nagging you? Has your memory let you down lately? Can't concentrate on your work either? You need Salusa 45. Salusa 45 improves physical vigor, revives mental alertness, restores sound sleep. Salusa 45 makes you feel and look years younger. Enjoy life again with Salusa 45.
Great, great feeling. Wake up with a smile.
Your mornings are as good as your mattress. And when you sleep on a Sealy Posturepedic, you wake refreshed and ready for the day. Thanks to firm, comfortable support. Sealy Posturepedic, the only mattress designed in cooperation with leading orthopedic surgeons.
Sealy Posturepedic.
Assault on Rommel was written by Bridget O'Donnell, produced by Rolf Jacobs, and directed by Delphine Lethbridge. Here is another clue in Springbok Radio's Saturday Night Jackpot.
B stands for Ben, but it's also very important in your hunt for tonight's place name. B staan vir Ben, maar hierdie letter is ook baie belangrik in die soektog na vanaand se pleknaam.
Darling, we've just got to get another servant. Sophie dropped 2 of my best plates today.
But Sophie's been with us for years. We can't just tell her to go.
Then it looks like paper plates from now on.
Or a General Electric mobile maid.
Mobile maid? What on earth is that?
It's a dishwasher made by General Electric. It wheels right up to the table. You just load the dirty dishes in, take it back to the kitchen, connect it with a quick adapter coupling. It gets everything sparkling clean and absolutely dry. And it switches itself off. You just have to start it and walk away.
Thank heavens for General Electric.
The company that always spells it out.
Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop. Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop.
September the 12th, 1878. Cleopatra's Needle levered into position on Thames Embankment after nightmare voyage from Alexandria.
Mr. Dimitri, one moment. Mr. Dimitri.
Yes, what is it?
My cards are here.
General Sir James Alexander. Yes. Well, I'm very busy.
Look, it's about the obelisk.
Huh?
This lying here in the sand.
Oh, that. It's a great nuisance to me. Take it. I've bought this land for development, and that is holding me up. I have told the authorities.
Yes, that's why I'm here. You must have patience, sir.
Patience? Patience? I've paid a lot of money for this land. I'm not a rich man, and this is preventing me from...
I quite understand.
You cannot if you ask me to be patient. Unless it is removed from here within the week, I shall break it up and use the stones myself.
Break it up? But, Mr. Dimitri, this is of tremendous archaeological importance. Don't you realize that some 3,500 years ago, King Thutmose III erected
I do not care what happened 3,000 years ago. This is in my way. I cannot cut up this land without lying there. It must go.
But this weighs hundreds of tons.
I don't care how you move it. It must go.
I shall have to get to London and tell my government about it.
And how long will that take? How long, huh?
Well, I shall have to persuade the government to transport the obelisk to London.
You mean take that to London?
Yes, it was given to the British government in gratitude by the Khedive of Egypt, Muhammad Ali, when Napoleon was torn to shreds by General Abercrombie.
So it has been lying here for nearly 100 years?
Yes.
Well, your government cannot want it. I shall break it up and use the stock.
Mr. Dimitri, that would be sacrilege.
It would be plain common sense. If any government gave me that, or whatever it is lying there in the sand, I would consider it an insult. Yes, an insult.
Cast your mind back, sir. Cast it back when this was cut from a single mammoth block of rose-pink granite, hewn from the quarry at Assuan and floated down the Nile.
Yes, but...
Thousands of Nubian slaves toiled under the lash to haul it to its site before the temple of Ra.
I am a busy man.
And there the twin obelisks remained, while the glories of ancient Egypt crumbled before the Roman legions. In 13 B.C., the Roman Emperor had them removed to the new city, Alexandria.
My land. I cannot...
And then, in 1300, an earthquake threw it to the ground where it lay. And after Napoleon's defeat, grateful British troops sank this marble slab commemorating their victory. You see? Here it is on the monument.
Please. I am a businessman. I do not care for all this. I bought this land for development. Now that must go. It must go. Otherwise, I warn you, sir. I warn you, I shall break it up. If your government are stupid enough to accept such a gift, why should my investment be made to suffer?
All I can do is to go to London immediately and see if I can't arrange for transport.
That will take months.
Yes. But I'm sorry, I can do no more. I beg of you, Mr. Dimitri, I beg of you in the name of history to have patience.
Very well. But know this one thing. Unless your government does something within 3 months, I shall have this broken to pieces, and I mean that.
So, that's the position, Lord Mayor.
Dear. This is too much.
Believe me, this gentleman means everything he says.
Why did the Egyptian government ever give us that wretched monument? It's always been a nuisance. For the past 100 years, successive Khedives have tried to interest us...
Why has it been allowed to lie there for so long? I mean, this is of great historical value.
Yes, of course, but it'll be the devil's own job to ship it to London, and expensive, too. We haven't the money to waste, Sir James.
But this isn't waste, Lord Murray.
Do you see this dossier here? Look at that. Memoranda, correspondence, meetings that have been held about that confounded monument lying there. It'll cost a fortune for transport.
Not a fortune, only about £10,000.
My dear fellow, that is a fortune. The government would never agree to it.
Yet a similar obelisk was safely transported to the Place de la Concorde in Paris. If the French can successfully manage, surely the British can try.
But it's a question of money.
But surely our government won't allow this individual to commit his act of vandalism.
Believe me, Sir James, if I could help you, I would. But this dossier here is proof that the British government is not prepared to incur the expense.
If the government won't help, I'll appeal to private individuals. Yes, I'll collect this money myself.
Yes, do that, Sir James. It's a splendid idea. And believe me, we will gratefully accept the gift of this monument. But I must stress again that no expense must be incurred on behalf of my government. They will never countenance it.
I'll collect this money myself. I have 3 months. Just 3 months.
I wish you the greatest good fortune.
I'll need it. Yes, certainly I'll need it.
Sir James Alexander?
Why, yes.
Here are my cards, sir.
Mr. Erasmus Wilson. Oh, this is a great honor. I've always followed your work with the very keenest interest, sir. Your surgical techniques have revolutionized medicine.
The interest is mutual, Sir James. I was at the Royal Society when you read your paper about the monument lying at Alexandria. I was most impressed.
Thank you.
I must say I am appalled by the thought of our government leaving such a treasure lying buried in the sand. It is a crime, Sir James.
Yes, but I suppose one can't expect everyone to be interested in such matters, Mr. Wilson.
You mentioned that the entire cost of bringing this monolith to Britain would be about £10,000.
Yes.
And I am prepared to defray the entire cost of the project.
You are willing to... But Mr. Wilson, it's a fortune.
I consider it will be money well spent. Now, what are your plans for transporting it?
Well, I've been in contact with Mr. John Dixon.
Ah, yes, I've heard about him, an eminent civil engineer.
Yes, that's right, and he contends that if the monolith were encased in a cylinder made of steel boiler plates and rolled into the sea, it would float.
Go on, it's most interesting.
Naturally, it would be ballasted, fitted with a keel, deck cabin, rudder and mast, and it would then be towed through the Mediterranean and the Atlantic Ocean to Britain.
A 3,000-mile journey?
Yes.
It's a tremendous undertaking, Sir James.
But with your money behind it, Mr. Wilson, it can be done. Careful with that mast, careful! Oh, honestly, they're going to break it before it's even erected. Careful, I say!
Are you Sir James Alexander?
Yes, stand back, and be careful.
I'm Captain Carter.
Swing that mast gently now. Swing it out.
I said I'm Captain Carter.
Good. Oh, Captain Carter. Of course, welcome to Alexandria. I've been waiting for you. Well, what do you think of her, eh?
What is that, Sir James?
It's Cleopatra's Needle.
Oh.
At least that's what we've christened her. This, Captain, is the vessel you'll sail to England.
That?
But didn't the P&O Company explain?
They told me I'd been borrowed to sail a vessel to England, but this, sir, isn't a vessel. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. I started my service on a square-rigged bark, but never have I ever seen...
This is unusual, I agree, but come aboard, Captain, and I'll show you. Now, look, careful now. You'll find she does roll a bit.
You expect this to be towed to England? Yeah, you must be out of your mind, Sir James. It'll be impossible to handle in heavy weather. She'll shear round in great arcs.
She was designed by the Thames Ironworks Company.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I've sailed in some pretty out craft in my career, but never in anything like this.
Oh, come on, and I'll show you the deck cabin.
Just a minute, Sir James. I'm not being difficult, but I don't understand what it's all about. What is this thing?
It's a famous monolith.
Huh?
Encased inside here is a huge granite obelisk.
I'll take it to England for.
Well, it's been given to the British government by the Egyptians. It's of great archaeological importance.
Oh. Well, What are you going to do with it? What good is it to us?
Why, dear fellow, this stood at a temple on the Nile where the infant Moses was found in the bulrushes.
Well, now, imagine that.
Well, you may consider it an odd craft, Captain Carter, but believe me, it's of great significance to the world.
What do you say? What sort of crew will I have on board?
7 Maltese seamen.
I see. And my tow ship?
A fine schooner-rigged steamer called the Olga. She'll be loaded with grain to help pay for the cost of the voyage.
Well, I can't say I like the look of this, Sir James, but if you say it's important, well, then I
Important? I'll tell you this, Captain. Your name will go down in history.
Bottom's falling out of the glass, Captain.
I don't like this, Mr. Mate. Looks to me like a hurricane.
Aye, Captain.
The cylinder's going to be devilish difficult to handle. Carter was saying she's gyrating wildly in spite of the weight of this massive stone. It's all very fine in the calm windows of an England sea, but now we've struck the Atlantic, I can see problems. Where's Sir James?
Down in his cabin, Captain.
If you ask me, Mr. Mate, the whole business is madness. All the expense and the danger, too, of towing that hulk out there. Doesn't seem to make sense to me at all.
Captain Carter's having trouble with his seamen.
Yeah, I can't blame them. Oh, well, we've been paid to get that to London, and we must do our best.
That's Captain Carter, sir.
Here, pass me that loud hailer. Ahoy! Boy, heavens. Mr. Mate, tell Sir James to step up here quickly.
Aye, sir.
Stand in, boat! Stand by!
What's the matter, Captain? What happened?
The ballast must have been insecurely stowed. It shifted. The tow is in danger of turning completely over.
Oh, no!
Mr. Mate!
Aye, sir.
Call for volunteers to man a boat to take off crew.
Aye, sir.
The weather's worsening, Sir James.
But if you take off the crew, what will happen?
Well, if the tow proves unmanageable, we'll cut the steel hawser.
You mean let her drift? But you can't.
Look, Sir James, that cylinder may be of great historical value, but I value very much more the lives of those 8 men aboard it.
Yes, of course, but surely this weather can't last forever.
I have explained that cylinder is boundary.
6 men are volunteers, sir.
Good. Stand by to lower away, Mr. Mate.
Aye, sir. Stand by to lower away. Aye. Stand by. A jump to it. He's the fool. Lower away.
There she goes.
But, Captain, surely to heaven there's something else we can do. There must be some
Judge for yourself, Sir James. Would you say this weather is clearing? Of course not. Ahoy there! Stand by for the boat!
They can't manage the boat in these seas,
Watch out!
Merciful heaven, the boat's been
Hold on, line!
The boat's gone, sir. It's been swept away.
Here, Captain Carter. Drink this.
Thank you, Sir James. I never thought we'd ever reach this boat safely.
There's no sign of my men who went out to save you, sir.
I've never known the sea run as high as this, Captain. It's a miracle you threw that line to us and dragged us aboard.
The monolith seems to have vanished.
I'm afraid so, Sir James. It couldn't keep afloat in this.
Well, perhaps we could search again.
Look, Sir James, we have searched. Heaven knows we've spent hours. There's no sign of it at all.
But she was designed to withstand a 3,000-mile journey.
No, sir. The ballast was insecurely stowed and it shifted. We all did our best. You can't fight these seas alone unless you've got a good craft under you.
It survived thousands of years of sun and winds and shifting sand. And 2 days out here, disappeared.
Well, maybe it should have been left where it was, Sir James.
It's tragic. It's terrible. If you don't mind, gentlemen, I'll go to my cabin.
It's acting like he's lost someone near and dear to him.
I never understand these blokes.
Never. When I first saw it, I knew it couldn't float. I said to him, what's this? You don't expect that to be towed to England, I said, but no. He knew better.
It's cost him a fortune, too.
For a whopping great lump of granite. Oh, well, it takes all sorts to make up the world, I suppose. I must say in confidence, Captain Booth, I'm far happier aboard this craft than I was on the last. That trip was a nightmare.
Ah, Sir James. Splendid. At last. I was down at Falmouth Harbour only last week, wondering whether the craft had arrived.
I'm afraid I have bad news for you, Mr. Wilson.
Oh?
The monolith foundered and sank in the Atlantic during a hurricane.
Sank?
Yes. It was a nightmare voyage, and 6 seamen died when their boat was swamped by a giant wave.
Oh. And Captain Carter?
Well, he was rescued, but there was nothing we could do to save the monolith.
Well, I must say I'm disappointed, Sir James.
Of course.
The newspapers were inquiring only yesterday, and I said that... Still, what's the importance of a block of granite when 6 men lost their lives?
We all tried our best, Mr. Wilson. I'm only sorry that you have suffered this financial loss.
Oh, the money means nothing. The tragedy is that this marvelous monument should have been lost. I was in Paris a couple of weeks ago, and I saw the obelisk at the Place de la Concorde. It was magnificent. I thought if the French can do it, by George, the British can as well.
I'm afraid we failed.
Oh, well, we all did our best, and no man can do more.
Somehow,
Yes?
You know, the night of the storm, when they told me that the monolith had disappeared, I thought, no, it can't be. We turned back and searched for it, but somehow I felt that it was still afloat. That it was still afloat. I mean, out there in the ocean... Well, it's difficult for me to say.
You have a premonition that it is still afloat somewhere.
Well, that's it exactly, yes. But we searched, but we didn't give up easily. But you can't talk of such things to practical seamen, Mr. Wilson.
Quite so, quite so. Of course, the press will get to hear about this. There will be comment. They will say that the French succeeded where we failed. Have you told Lord Murray about this?
I have an appointment with him at 11.
Take my advice, Sir James. Don't acknowledge defeat yet. The sea is a surprising place. It gives up its mysteries when you least expect it.
Look to starboard, Captain. Do you see?
What the devil's that? Give me the glass.
It looks like a giant whale, sir.
It's drifting this way.
It's a sea serpent, Captain. That's what it is, some kind of sea serpent.
It's man-made, I tell you, it's man-made. Look, now you see clearly.
Oh, heavens, what the devil is it, Captain?
It's long, black, and it's riding sluggishly.
There's a cabin, sir, and a broken mast.
Must be some kind of vessel. Take it in tow. Might earn a bit in salvage here, Mr. Mate.
No, but I don't understand this, Captain. What the devil is it? I've never seen a vessel like
this. Give orders to clear the falls to lower the boat.
You plan to board her, Captain?
Something mighty strange going on, Mr. Mate. Got to do something. She's wallowing in the shipping lines, and she could be a danger. Get a couple of men aboard.
Right, Captain. 2 men to the boat there. You, Francis, stand by to lower away. We can't approach direct. Not in this swell. Pull easy, man. A tricky bit here. Not far now. Pull harder.
There's a name printed to starboard.
What the... Cleopatra's Needle. Cleopatra's Needle? What is it, huh? I'm jumping aboard.
My foot.
She's wallowing, but she seems steady enough now. Drift in as near as you can.
Right, sir.
Watch it. Clear out a bit. That's it.
Be careful, sir. Those plates, they're damn slippery, you know.
Hold her while she is, man. I'm going.
Go, Mr. Mate. What do you make of it?
Well, it's some kind of steel cylinder, Captain. There's a small deck, Captain, a stumpy mast which has been broken. From what I can make out, Captain, the cylinder enclosing something. Heaven knows what it is, though.
Right, Mr. Mate. We'll take in tow.
It's a tremendous length, Captain.
If we can't manage, we'll cut adrift again. If we get it to port safely, we might earn a goodly slice of salvage.
Mr. Wilson! Mr. Wilson! Yes, what is it? Oh, Sir James!
They found her!
What?
By some extraordinary coincidence, she drifted into the path of the tramp steamer Fitzmaurice, and they took her in tow.
Oh, my heavens, I told you, Sir James. I told you that she hadn't sunk. I knew it. Where is she?
At Anchorage at Gravesend.
Well, let's go down there immediately.
Yes, of course.
Oh, you must feel triumphant about this, Sir James. Has Lord Murray been informed?
Yes, the government are delighted.
I should blessed well hope they are.
They plan a triumphal progress up the river to the East India Company's docks.
Then the next move is to erect the monolith near Westminster Abbey.
Yes.
Oh, the end of an epic journey, Sir James. By heavens, just wait until the French hear about this.
Sit down, Sir James, sit down. I can't give you much time. I'm frantically harassed.
It's about the obelisk. It's been lying at anchor now for over 6 months. And nothing's been done about erecting it near Westminster Abbey.
Oh, that confounded... It's causing me untold problems.
But I don't see why it can't be erected.
Well, the directors of the Underground Railways have refused to give their consent.
What? What's it to do with them?
Well, they're fearful that the stone mass will crash into their tunnel, and it's a valid argument, Sir James. It's a tremendous weight, you know. If there was such an accident, it would be calamitous.
But this site was decided on, Lord Murray.
One must be flexible about these things.
There was an alternative site outside the British Museum.
Oh, dear, no, that was found to be impossible.
Impossible? Why?
Well, the obelisk cannot be hauled through the narrow streets of London. It would jam and cause untold chaos.
I see. Well, then, where is it to be erected, sir? It has travelled over 3,000 miles through raging storms.
Yes, I know all about that. And I'm in the middle, Sir James. Naturally, I appreciate the importance of this obelisk, but in my position, I cannot allow it to disrupt the city of London.
The French erected it with no trouble at all. They put up scaffolding and a great hydraulic jack hauled the thing into position. There wasn't this fuss, this confounded bother, this lack of cooperation. I can admire the determination and the tenacity of the French. They're a great people, Lord Murray.
But they didn't encounter the problems we have had to face.
They ironed them out. Well, sir, what are your plans now? Where is this monolith to be erected? Or is it to be left riding at anchor indefinitely?
There's to be a meeting tomorrow, and I'm going to suggest that the obelisk be placed in position on the embankment.
Oh,
well, this is the most practical spot, Sir James. It will be an outstanding landmark.
Well, as long as there's not too much delay.
I shall do my best, Sir James. Rest assured, I shall do my best.
Well, Sir James, there she is on her pedestal. This is a great day for us both.
I can't believe it.
This is an historic occasion. The British flag flying at the top. You must be proud.
Yes, it's a grand sight. The last time it stood in all its glory was 3,500 years ago, adorning the great temple to Ra. Then it was a delicate shade of rose pink, and it contemplated the glories of the pharaohs.
And now it watches over London. Cleopatra's Needle.
Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop. Scoop. True stories that have made headlines.
The death of David Livingstone, May the 4th, 1873, at Chitambas village, Ilala.
Gentlemen, as president of this society, I welcome you here this evening, though my welcome is a sad one, for this afternoon the mortal remains of David Livingstone were laid to rest in the centre nave of Westminster Abbey. While I stood there, gentlemen, I remembered the words of David Livingstone, written when he came upon a grave on the border of Lake Banguela, not far from the spot where he himself passed away.
It was a rounded mound, as if the occupants sat in it in the usual native way. It was strewn over with flour and a number of large blue beads, while a little path showed it had visitors. This is the sort of grave I should prefer.
I remembered those words, gentlemen, and I thought how strange, how remarkable, that it should be decreed that while his heart should lie in a leafy forest, in such a spot as he lived, his bones should repose in a great Christian temple. However, gentlemen, the purpose of this meeting is not to discuss the character of David Livingstone, but to recall his third and last great African journey. How well I remember the day he came to my office.
You wanted to see me, Sir Roderick.
Ah, Livingstone, my dear fellow. Good of you to come. Sit down here.
You said in your letter that you wished to see me on a matter of importance.
Livingstone, I've been told that you're retiring, that you're planning to anchor for the rest of your life on the mud and sand banks of England.
I was toying with the idea, Sir Roderick.
Retire? You ridiculous.
But I'm 52.
You are in the prime of your life, the very prime.
But
I refuse to listen further. You're looking extremely well. In fact, I've never seen you fitter. Your years rest lightly on your shoulders. I envy you, dear fellow, I envy you.
Yeah, but...
Livingstone, I've asked you to come here because I wish to place before you a proposal. Now, quite irrespective of missionary or political affairs, there is at the moment a question of intense geographical interest to be settled. Namely, the watershed, or possibly watersheds, of Central Africa.
And you want me to...
I want you to go out and find the real source of the River Nile. For I'm convinced this is far higher up than the Victoria Nyanza. Far higher, in fact, than any traveller has yet been.
A difficult undertaking, Sir Roderick.
But think. Think of the great service you'll be performing. To religion as well as to science. And you're the only person, Livingstone, worthy and capable of undertaking this magnificent survey. And I feel this is a fitting manner to conclude your remarkable career.
I see. And who is promoting this enterprise?
The Royal Geographical Society. They're quite willing to grant you the sum of £1,000.
1,000? But such an undertaking would cost many thousands more. The transport, the staff, the bearers, even my salary, Sir Roderick. We may be gone a year, even 2 years.
Well, it should be enough, but...
But you have no idea of how much is involved.
Well, this is a matter which can always be attended to later. The immediate problem is, will you consider the proposition?
Not entirely as a geographical explorer, Sir Roderick. I'm sorry, but I'm a missionary first.
But missionary enterprise impedes the geographical, and we feel that...
I'm sorry.
Livingstone, if you were to concentrate wholeheartedly on our project, your reputation would be unrivaled in the whole civilized world.
Sir Roderick, you must appreciate, sir, that my reputation in the civilized world is of absolutely no consequence to me at all.
Oh.
I'm afraid that if I undertake this task, it will be as a missionary first.
Oh, well, there's nothing more I can do about this. It's up to you, of course.
I'll need a few weeks to plan my course, and then I'll place everything before you.
David Livingstone left England on the 19th of August, 1865, and arrived in Zanzibar a month later, where he boarded a small craft for the mouth of the river Rovuma.
Well, Doctor, there's your landing place. See those dunes over there?
Aye. But how it's changed. But then time changes everything, doesn't it?
Doctor, why'd you go ahead with this, eh? I mean, it's like suicide for you to go into those wilds without a single European companion. When we were in Zanzibar, I know the Sultan felt the same way.
Well, it's kind of you to worry about me. But if I craved the companionship of my countrymen, I would be no explorer.
Aye, that's true enough, I suppose. But just look at that collection you've got with you.
Eh?
You're a cutthroats, no better. Those sepoys from Bombay, I wouldn't trust them an inch. And the Johanna men from the Comoro Islands, I wouldn't trust them either. And as for those liberated slaves you've got...
Don't worry. I found that humanity rarely strikes at the hand which is not already struck.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, those bales of cloth and the beads that you're carrying, they're worth a great deal in heathen eyes. They've killed for much less. And those animals of yours, well...
What of my animals?
Well, you know what I think of them, Doctor. I mean, I've told you often enough. It's madness dragging along camels and buffaloes and mules and donkeys. It's just plain madness.
Yet it's the only way of finding out what types of animals can withstand the bite of the tsetse fly, a beastly scourge in this country.
I see it's useless trying to talk sense with you, Doctor. I only hope to heaven things turn out all right.
Things did not turn out all right, gentlemen. Soon after the departure of the expedition, the complaints of the men began. And upon every opportunity they evinced a decided hostility to an advance. Then one day, Chuma, one of the few trustworthy men with the doctor, approached him.
Master, I come to say, look with me at the last of your faithful friends.
You mean the camel? What have they done to the poor creature, Chuma?
They killed him.
Oh, no.
The same way they killed the Master's other faithful friends.
Poor brute. But why have these men deliberately killed all my animals? Why? What possible advantage can it be to them?
The men, they say, too much hard work this life. And if they kill animals, the Master, he will go back to Zanzibar, and there will be peace at all times.
But I've told the sepoys they can go, but they won't leave.
Many, many miles to Zanzibar. Many evils surround us. The men, they say, with you, they are safe. Alone, anything may happen. So you must return also.
If the men refuse to return to the coast alone, they march with me. One or the other it will be.
There is another wickedness I must tell.
What is it?
The men, they are telling the tribes about us. They say you are a witch doctor, a man of great evil to be avoided or killed. This is bad.
So, they're saying that about me, are they? In that case, call the men to me, Chuma.
Master, be very careful.
No, don't worry, Chuma. I wish to have words with them.
Men, I have asked you to come here this morning because I wish to speak of returning to the coast. Yes. I have decided that those of you who wish may return. The others can continue with me.
But, Master, you must return also.
No, my duty lies inland.
But we are afraid of the slave traders, Master.
That's nonsense.
If we return, you also.
I have told you of my plans.
Master, I have heard news which fills me with fear.
What news is this, Musa?
A band of Mazitu are plundering, killing, and burning. Not many miles from here. We are in danger.
I don't believe a word of it.
You say, Master, I lie.
I say, Musa, that you are afraid. But if you feel your lives are in danger, I suggest that you and the other Johanna men return to the coast with the sepoys.
What, Master?
You are at liberty to take your rifles and ammunition for protection against the slave traders.
And our money? The money you promised?
I will give you a note, and upon your return to Zanzibar, you will receive whatever you're entitled to.
I do not like this, Master.
I have spoken, Musa. That is all.
You will regret this, Master. Oh, yes, you will regret.
You will remember, gentlemen, at about this time news of David Livingstone was scarce. A veil seemed to be cast over his activities. Then one day in Zanzibar, Dr. Kirk received a visitor.
My name is Musa, sir. You remember me?
Oh, aye. You're one of the Johanna men who went with Dr. Livingstone. Oh, why are you here?
It is sad, sir. Very sad.
Why, what's happened to Livingstone? Answer me, man. What's happened?
The master, he died.
Livingstone? Dead? What happened, fella? Come on, answer me.
The master, he crossed Lake Nyassa, then some bad men, they come from behind this way. I cry out to master, but it was too late.
You mean he was struck down and killed?
Yes, sir. It was his head. Oh, it was terrible. My heart, it is breaking. He was a good man, a kind man.
Well, how is it that you escaped with your life?
When I see this thing, I run.
I see, and then?
Next day I come back, and there was the master, dead. He come back to Zanzibar. I must tell his people, I say. And this is the end.
I see. Did you have any witnesses? Or are you the only man alive?
I bring others. They wait outside, master.
Well, I'll examine them as well. Bring them in here.
Musa and the men stood firmly by their story, even during strict cross-examination. And so it was natural for Dr. Kirk to believe them.
It is my unhappy duty to report that David Livingstone was killed by a band of savages between Marenga and Maklasura. The news was brought to me by a Johanna boy from the Comoro Islands, which news I have every reason to believe.
When the report of Livingstone's death was made known, there were many, including me, gentlemen, who did not believe it. And one man in particular, James Gordon Bennett, manager of the New York Herald, intended to do something practical about it. He sent this telegram on the 16th of October, 1871.
To Henry M. Stanley, Madrid. Come to Paris on important business. J.G. Bennett.
I'm sorry I couldn't get here any quicker, sir, but the train from Madrid was mighty slow, and that steamer was unbelievable.
Oh, I'm glad to see you, Stanley. Sit down. A cigarette?
Thanks.
Match?
Thank you.
Now, tell me, Stanley, where do you think Livingston is, eh?
Livingston? Oh, you mean the British explorer? The one who's dead?
You think he's dead, then?
Well, sir, I only know what I've read in the papers. The Valencia rumpus has been on my mind.
I believe he's alive, Stanley.
But this report about his death...
I have the feeling that there's a story here, Stanley, a great story. It's a hunch I've got. I don't think he's alive. I know he is.
I see.
And you are going to confirm it, Stanley.
Huh?
You are going to find him.
Me, sir? Central Africa?
That's right, Stanley. You, Central Africa. Find Livingston and get what news you can of him.
But, sir, I don't know...
figure it this way. The old fellow must be in want. Take enough with you to help him should he require it. Act according to your own plans and do what you think best. But find Livingston.
Central Africa, sir? But have you seriously considered the great expense you're likely to incur by sailing...
I believe Burton and Speake's journey cost between 3,000 and 5,000 English pounds.
Yeah, a great deal of money, sir.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Stanley. Draw 1,000 pounds now, and when you finish that, draw another 1,000 and another and another. But find Livingston.
But, sir, I don't understand. Why are you risking all this money to find an Englishman, a missionary, an explorer? It doesn't make sense at all to me.
The New York Herald is a great paper, Stanley. My father made it so, and I mean to make it even greater. It shall be a newspaper in the true sense of the word. It shall publish whatever news will be interesting to the world at no matter the cost.
I see, sir.
Livingston is big news at this moment. There is this doubt about his death. And if you were the one who finds him and helps him, imagine the splash we can give. Big headlines. New York Herald reporter finds famous explorer. There's been nothing like this before, Stanley. So go to it, and let's see what you can do.
The rest, gentlemen, has been written about and discussed in newspapers and journals throughout the world. And Mr. Stanley gave us a very complete picture of how he succeeded in his task some 2 years after he left Mr. Bennett's office in Paris.
We halted at a little brook and then ascended the long slope of a naked ridge, the very last of the myriads we'd crossed. This slope prevented us from seeing the lake in all its vastness. Before we'd proceeded far, crowds of people poured in our direction. Hey, keep going there. Keep going.
Good morning, sir.
What did you say?
I say good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. But who the devil are you? Who taught you English?
I am Chuma, the servant of Dr. Livingston.
What? You are the servant of Dr. Livingston?
Yes, sir. And this here is Susie.
Say, where is the doctor?
At the village, sir.
Are you sure?
Sure, sir. We leave him now.
Is he well?
No, not very well, sir.
I see. Well, get along, you two, and tell the doctor I'm coming.
Yes, sir. We will do that.
We followed the retreating forms of Susie and Chuma, when suddenly one of my bearers cried, "I can see him, sir. I can see him plain. Oh, what an old man." And my heart beats fast. But I mustn't let my face betray my emotions, lest it shall detract from the dignity of a white man appearing under such extraordinary circumstances. So I did what I thought was the most dignified. I pushed back the crowds. I walked down a living avenue of people until I came to a semicircle of Arabs, in front of which stood the white man with the gray beard. I would have run to him. I would have embraced him. Only he being an Englishman, I didn't know how he would receive me. And so I walked deliberately to him, took off my hat and said, "Dr. Livingston, I presume?"
I must say, Mr. Stanley, that I'm overwhelmed with curiosity. I'm wondering why you're here, I'm told you have boats and men and quantities of stores.
Well, Doctor, I really don't know what your reactions will be when you hear that I've come after you.
After me?
Yes, sir. There's been a rumor circulating that you were dead.
What?
Yeah, I've been commissioned by the manager of the New York Herald to get whatever news I can of you and to give you assistance if necessary.
Find me? Assist me? And you come from America? Oh, I feel proud, sir, that you Americans think so much of me.
Now, sir, do you need help?
Well, quite honestly, sir, you found me in a most devilish predicament. I was beginning to think that I should have to beg from some Arab traders here. You see, I left a quantity of my stores in this village and trekked inland for some 300 miles. When I returned, I found these stores had been sold by a half-caste Arab trader.
But why?
Well, because he divined on the Quran, and this had told him I was dead. This left me in a most unfortunate position, suffering as I am from acute dysentery and having no medical supplies whatsoever.
Well, I've got everything you need, sir. Everything.
All these stores are yours? All these?
No expense has been spared, Doctor. Mr. Bennett told me to find you, regardless of the cost. It's taken me 2 years.
And you are a journalist, not an experienced explorer. Oh, it must have been a most difficult and dangerous undertaking.
The main thing is, sir, I've succeeded, and you need my help. I can send a message back to Mr. Bennett. David Livingston found. All's well.
Remember, gentlemen, our reactions when we learned that an American journalist had found Livingston. You will remember that the leaders of the British search party felt as if the wind had been taken out of their sails. Our daily press actually challenged Stanley's truthfulness, and some of the newspapers affected to treat the whole story as a myth. Fortunately, the mists cleared away, and England acknowledged its debt to the American.
Henry Stanley, Esquire. Sir, I have great satisfaction in conveying to you, by command of the Queen, Her Majesty's high appreciation of the prudence and zeal which you have displayed in opening a communication with Dr. Livingston, and relieving Her Majesty from the anxiety which, in common with her subjects, she has felt in regard to the fate of that distinguished traveler. I am, sir, your most humble and obedient servant, Granville.
That letter was dispatched to Mr. Stanley. He delivered into the hand of Mr. Bennett the following communication from Livingston.
I shall not return to England yet, but will pursue my investigations regarding the watersheds of this continent, for I have already traced about 600 miles, and feel that if I am ultimately successful, as I have every reason to believe that I will be, it is possible that the people will listen to my disclosures regarding the horrifying slave traffic of this otherwise fine continent.
David Livingston never succeeded in finding those watersheds, gentlemen, for it was decreed by the All-Highest that on the 4th of May his soul departed this life.
It was me, Chuma, who found the master praying thus. Master, I say, Master, you have knelt for long, and the mists are rising in the valley. But the master heeded me not. Then I knew my master was no more. I knew it was bad that my master die and be buried from his people. So Susie, my friend, and I, we think it best to take the master to the coast, so that his friends in the other country may know of what happened. This we did. For 14 days the body of my master lay in the sun. Then we wrapped it in bark after burying his heart beneath a myenga tree. And so it was that we carried the master to the white settlement, and we saw him no more.
These two Africans carried the body of David Livingston some 700 miles, and for 9 months remained steadfast to their purpose to pay honor to the remains of their master, in the midst of innumerable trials and dangers, and with no hope of reward. In closing this address, gentlemen, it will, I know, be of great interest to you to learn that The plaque, which now marks the resting place of David Livingstone in Westminster Abbey, will bear this inscription.
Brought by faithful hands over land and sea, here rests David Livingstone, missionary, traveller, philanthropist, born March 19, 1813, at Blantyre, Lanarkshire. Died May the 4th, 1873, at Chitimbi's village, Ilala. For 30 years his life was spent in an unwearied effort to evangelize, to explore the undiscovered secrets and abolish the desolating slave traffic of Central Africa.
Other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice.
Every Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we bring you a true story that has made headlines in Scoop. Scoop. True stories that have made headlines.
May 24th, 1903. 80 die in first great motor race.
Well, Ralph, my friend, there it is.
Well,
isn't it magnificent? Well, isn't it? Have you seen a motor car like that before, eh?
Never. This must have cost you a fortune, Marcel.
A fortune. As a matter of fact, I've had to delay my marriage to Yvonne.
Oh?
She isn't taking it at all well, but when a man has speed in his blood, Ralph, not even a wife is compensation. Here, look inside.
This is revolutionary.
It has been especially designed for speed. This is the joy of this car. It is specially designed. The steering handle has given way to this steering wheel.
It'll give you more control at speed.
Precisely. And look here. What do you make of that, eh?
Wire spokes at the wheel.
For safety again. I tell you, Ralph, this race is going to open a new era of motoring. Oh, there have been races before. People have stripped their ordinary tours and rattled from Paris to Berlin or to Vienna, but this is different. Every single motor entered has been especially designed to attain maximum speed.
And how fast do you think you'll go?
60 miles an hour, 70 perhaps. I'm aiming for 75.
But Marcel, that is suicidal.
Not in this. See the size of those wheels. And feel the strength of the bodywork. Feel it.
Yes. It's beautifully made. I've never seen anything like this, Marcel. When you wrote and told me about entering this race, I thought...
You thought of horse carriages, I know. That's what everyone thought.
But what made you go into this?
It's the only way to live, Ralph. Once you get behind the wheel of a motor like that, you adjust your goggles, you start the engine and move, and you know that this is the only thing. It's the only thing. There is nothing else in life but speed.
My newspapers have told me that if there's any news of value in this race, I can report on their behalf.
News value? News value? They must be right out of their minds. I tell you, this heralds a new era in living. Do you think my government would have given this race their blessing if they didn't realize there was something of value in it for them?
Well, yes,
but... This isn't a toy, the plaything of a rich man. This is a new form of transport. It's the transport of the future. Have you seen a list of the men who have entered the race? Here it is. Look at that. Men of education, of enterprise. The Renault brothers, who won the last Paris-Vienna race. William K. Vanderbilt Jr. from America. They say he has spent a fortune on developing his motor. And even from your country.
Charles Jarrett. Yes, he's excellent. And who's this? Charles Rowe.
An engineer. They say he's pioneered the car. And look here. Marcel de Genlis. Me. Over 200 entries from all over the world. Paris to Madrid. 880 miles at high speed.
And the fool really believes he will get there, Ralph.
Yvonne, it's good to see you again. As lovely as ever.
It's good to see you as well, Ralph. Perhaps you'll be able to make these idiots see a little sense, huh?
Now, my angel, no hard words.
No hard words. This monstrous contraption you see here represents his entire inheritance from his grandfather, Ralph.
Not the entire inheritance, my precious.
Well, most of it, then. Your grandfather was a hard-working, industrious man. If he knew what you had done with his money, he would turn in his grave.
This is my life, Yvonne.
Ralph, consider this. When I see my fiancé, I have to come into this shed and sit on a box and look at that. It is too much. There has never been another girl who has to share her man with a motor car.
But it's a beautiful motor car, my angel. Just look how sleek, how perfect. The lines.
This is madness. Look, when I agreed to marry you, Marcel, you had not fallen in love with this. If I had suspected then what I have experienced now, I would never have agreed to our marriage. Never.
Oh, come. Well, once the race is over, we will marry.
Ralph, I ask you, as a practical, a sensible Englishman, do you think this madman will ever live through this race to Madrid? Do you think he will survive the insanity of speed, do you?
Well,
He's talking of driving 75 miles an hour. You know what my father says, and he is an excellent engineer. He says that 40 miles an hour is downright rash. He says that over 40 is dangerous, and that 75 is nothing short of suicidal. That's what he says.
But your father is very partial to his horses and his carriages.
Because they take him where he wants to go, with safety and with dignity.
My angel, I love you dearly,
I know. But you love this more. Oh, you men, you make me so tired, you silly, irresponsible creatures. I'm going. Goodbye.
It is the same every time. Every time she walks out in a temper.
You're going to lose her, Marcel.
Once the race is over, I shall woo her back again.
It starts on the 23rd.
At 3:15 a.m. At Royal Versailles. May is my lucky month, Ralph. I know I am going to win.
I think this whole affair is growing out of all proportion, Minister.
Well, naturally people are interested, monsieur. There has never been a motor race of this caliber before. It is going to be a grim and brilliant struggle between high-powered machines and men.
They say that over 1 million people are lining most of the route to Bordeaux, and the race only commences tomorrow.
But, monsieur, don't you feel the excitement?
I feel vague, disquiet. I have never taken to these newfangled motors. Give me a thoroughbred and a fine carriage. Now there is beauty for you. I feel that if the good Lord wished us to travel at high speeds, he would have provided us with the wings to do so.
Quite so, but...
Candidly, I wish to heaven you had never authorized the race.
But one cannot hold back progress. Look at the response there has been. Men from all over the world have entered.
Yes, but...
And whether we like it or not, monsieur, the motor is here to stay. It is a part of our life.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it, I suppose. But I only hope that we won't regret ever encouraging this madness.
What a sight, Ralph. Look over there.
Thousands of Chinese lanterns.
We're all being carried by people who came on bicycles. Where's Yvonne? There's no sign of her yet.
She's not coming. Huh? She said she'll see you when the madness has passed.
Oh, I wish she didn't feel this way. Look. There's the Englishman Porter. That's a British-made car. It hasn't a hob. Antiquated design.
Well, I like the line.
They can't match up to the French. What's the time?
It's 3 o'clock.
I'd better get myself organized. We leave in minute intervals. I'm 20th.
Oh, Yvonne did send you something. This.
A rose. I shall wear it. So, where will you be, Ralph?
I'll cover the entire race. At least I'll try to. I believe thousands are lining the route.
You can feel the tension, the excitement. The world has never seen anything like this before.
I looked at Marcel. He stood there, a man inspired. The rose Yvonne had given him stuck into his greatcoat lapel. There were over 200 men like him, all waiting to start on this race, where each driver was out to win for himself. The lanterns waving in the breeze gave it an unreal effect. Troops and gendarmes kept the crowd back from the starting line. I helped Marcel into his car, a flimsy, almost comic contraption. He adjusted his goggles, and at 3:15 exactly, the first car, driven by an Englishman, Jarrett, was away. They left after that at 1-minute intervals. Marcel, number 20, his gloved hands clenching the steering wheel, his eyes glued to the road ahead of him. There was a smile, I remember, on his lips. The same smile a man would have when he saw ahead of him a mountain to conquer or a country to explore. As the cars hurtled on their way out of the city, it was obvious that this was certainly a race with a difference. Such speeds had never been seen before. Some of the overconfident drivers were pushing their machines along the dusty roads at 80 miles an hour. The crowds gaped. They pressed onto the roads. They were pushed back by the troops. A few miles from Versailles, the god of speed reached down and plucked his first victim. An Englishman sent his car careering down a hill. He hit a level crossing at the bottom. With engines screaming, the car catapulted into the air and fell among the crowds. It exploded into flames, and 5 people died. It was then that I felt apprehensive. This was madness. Without doubt, this was madness.
This is madness. Complete and utter madness. It must be stopped. How can I stop a race when it has been started? Don't you appreciate there is wholesale carnage going on out there? There is no other word for it. Well, there have been accidents. Accidents? That is a mild way of expressing it. Within 10 minutes of the race starting, there was a massacre. And from then on, disaster has been mounting upon disaster. News of catastrophes and crazy speed have been reported to us continually. This must be stopped. How can these men be stopped? They are speeding towards the frontier at this moment. The perfect place. Stop them there. I believe the Spanish government are distressed about all this. No one anticipated this kind of thing. It was a motor race. Such events have been held before. Yes, a motor race, but not monsters designed especially for speed. This is trouble. You, as president of the Chamber of Deputies, should exercise your authority to stop this. Oh, very well. I see there's another report to hand. And Montbiron, the Englishman, Stead, lost control of his motor. Spectators were seriously injured, and he was killed. As far as I can calculate, 72 men have lost their lives, and hundreds of others seriously injured. This must be a kind of madness possessing these people, and it must be stopped, monsieur. It must be stopped.
Ralph, have you heard any news of Marcel?
He seems to be still in the race.
Why doesn't he give up? My father told me that questions are being asked in government circles about this race. They say a form of madness has possessed the drivers.
The latest development is that the Spanish government have panicked and won't allow the drivers to cross the border.
Oh, mon Dieu. So they must stop.
They've rushed troops to the border in case any drivers may try and crash the border into Spain.
But, Ralph, what has gone wrong? They say the road is littered with ruined motors and dead and dying people. Is it so important to travel fast and then kill yourself?
When this started, I could understand how Marcel felt. It's new and exciting.
Mais oui, but to kill yourself. I've been praying that his motor would break down, that something would happen to the engine.
From what I can make out, it's kept going well.
All this has decided me on the future.
Oh?
I refuse to marry a madman. Non, merci. I'm not sharing my husband with a motor car, and that is final. When he returns, I shall hand over his ring.
Oh, come, Yvonne, you don't mean that.
I mean every single word I've spoken. His entire inheritance has been paid into that monster of his.
It'll all return to normal, Yvonne.
I don't think that life will ever be the same again, Ralph.
But of course it will. After the race.
After the race is over, men will still crave this speed, this dicing with death. That's what it is, Ralph. Dicing with death. Marcel has got this into his blood. He will never get rid of it. Not ever.
Look, Yvonne, I must go and check on the latest developments. But don't decide anything now. Not until Marcel returns.
If he returns. If he isn't killed. If he isn't killed.
Monsieur, what is the latest news of the motor race? I represent the London Globe.
Why don't you people leave me alone? Just leave me alone. I'm sick and tired of questions. I'm sick and tired of the press.
But the whole world is waiting for news.
The race has been stopped at the border. That is all I can say.
And what are the latest casualty figures?
I can tell you nothing officially, monsieur. The men are still racing their motors. Now, go.
please, go.
What are your plans at the border?
I have told you with great patience. The drivers will not be allowed to proceed. Troops are standing by. The cars will be impounded.
Impounded, eh?
They will be returned to Paris by train. But before that happens, monsieur, they must be stopped. When my government agreed to this race, we had no idea that this would be the result. After all, there have been other motor races. Dignified, leisurely affairs where men behaved with restraint and dignity.
But these cars have been especially designed.
Oui, I can appreciate what that means now. Questions are going to be asked. And you know whose head will roll? Mine. It'll be mine. Oh, I feel sick, monsieur. Sick with anxiety.
But you can't blame yourself.
Someone will have to be blamed, and that will be me, for allowing this to take place. Please, monsieur, go. There is nothing more I can say. I only pray that at the border those speed-crazy men don't do anything they'll regret.
Sorry, senor, you are not allowed through the border post.
But I am in the Paris-Madrid race. I must get
The
through.
race has been ended.
What?
Ended, senor. Will you please leave your motor? It will be towed by these horses to the railway station.
Have you gone right out of your mind?
For the first time, senor, this is the voice of sanity speaking. Leave your car. It will be towed with great care. Jose?
Si.
Take this one.
Stand aside. You can't do this to me. I could win this race. It has cost me a great deal of money. Take your hands off my car.
Senor, we do not wish to fight with anyone, but we are prepared to do so to restore order. Leave your motor. It is being impounded in the name of the French government.
Over my dead body.
Very well, senor.
What? A gun?
Kindly leave that car, senor. It will be towed to the railway with the others. Leave the car.
Listen to me. I have friends in the right places. I shall tell them of this outrage.
You may do as you please,
I tell
senor.
you this. There is going to be the very devil to pay about
The
this.
devil? Yes. You're right. The devil himself has been walking unchecked in the streets of France, and he must be stopped before there is even more tragedy. I shall take you into custody, senor, until the train is ready to leave for Paris.
I was put into a cell like a common thief. That is what happened to me.
But the frontier guard only did so because you resisted his orders.
I wasn't the only one. There were dozens of drivers languishing there. It was a disgrace. I shall make sure that this is reported to the very highest authorities. To be treated like a common criminal.
Marcel, calm down.
If they had let me through, I know I could have won.
Even before you arrived at the frontier, the race was over. Gabriel was declared the winner at Bordeaux at an average speed of 63 miles an hour. This is official, Marcel. It's official. The Spanish part of it was abandoned.
I was conserving my car engine. If I thought the race would end at Bordeaux, naturally I would have driven faster.
You never had a chance. Now, be sport enough to acknowledge that.
This is most unsatisfactory affair I have ever got myself involved in. The indignity of it. My car being dragged along the streets by a cart horse. The shame of it. The indignity. And being forced aboard the train under threat of assault. The authorities were brutal.
The main thing is you survived the race, Marcel. Hundreds of others didn't. And give thanks you're still alive.
I could have won. I swear to you, I could have won.
Against masters like Renault, Jarrett, and Gabriel? Never.
There were times when I was touching 70 miles an hour. Oh, the glory of it. The feeling of power.
Why, I am sick to death of the whole affair.
Yvonne, my angel, I didn't see
you. You were too busy pacing up and down shouting. I prayed that this race would damp down the fires of your madness, Marcel. But I was wrong. It has fun then.
I swear to you, Yvonne, I could have won if they had allowed us to continue to Madrid. There was I, well out in front, my car responding splendidly to everything I asked of her. People lined the streets screaming encouragement. I have never seen so many people or such enthusiasm. Then, with the race in my grasp, I was stopped at the border and thrown into a cell like a common felon. They haven't heard the end of this. Oh, no. I shall have questions asked in the right places.
Meanwhile, Marcel, I think you should have this.
Oh? What is this, my angel? Your ring?
Your ring.
I think I'll go, if you'll excuse me.
No. You stay, Ralph. It is finished between us, Marcel.
But, Yvonne...
Finished. I do not wish to marry a madman. It's as simple as that.
But
I want a husband who will not endanger his life and the lives of other people. My father told me that Monsieur Jarot drove back to Paris in a touring car, and he said he would never have believed the scene if he had not witnessed it himself.
Oui, but you said that...
He said everywhere he saw cars bent into fragments, cars along the roads and in the fields, cars on their sides, upside down, cars burned to cinders. He said the smell of death itself lay heavily everywhere. He said it was an unforgettable scene and quite horrible. Monsieur Jarot is an Englishman, and he is not a dramatic man. He said the drive back to Paris made him realize why the race had to be stopped at Bordeaux. He could understand Marcel because he saw for himself.
Is this true, Ralph?
Of course it's true.
I did see a few accidents, yes, but was it as bad as that?
The official casualty figures are 80 dead and over 200 seriously injured. That's carnage in any language, Marcel.
Well,
it was a miracle that you survived. Only 94 drivers who entered the race out of 228 finished the lap to Bordeaux. Only 94, Marcel.
I was there.
While you drove that car, you couldn't see the full story, Marcel?
No. It's true, of course. Yvonne, ma chérie, here. Let me put this ring back on your finger.
No, not until
I'll leave you two alone. I still have a few threads to tie up. I'll be seeing you.
Yvonne, the madness has left me. Please marry me as we planned. Please.
The madness will never leave you, Marcel. I can see that now.
But with you, Yvonne, I will have the desire to live.
A deplorable business. It is well over, monsieur. I believe some of the drivers attempted to crash their cars right through the barriers at the border. The Spanish troops were forced to fire on a few to restore order. This must never happen again. Monsieur, our government must never be placed in this embarrassing position, not ever again. All forms of motor car racing must be abolished forever.
You are asking the impossible. The mistake here was that it was an inter-country contest. Such races must be held on prepared roads in the
There must never be another race. Even the onlookers behaved with complete disregard for their own safety. At Abli, the gendarmes could control the crowds who spilled onto the road.